Sound of silence. Ah, very quiet. Very quiet. Right. Okay. Just setting up a few things. Evening. Trying to be punctual, but it ain't easy when you got 4 kids. Trying to keep the house quiet so I can do this. Not an easy task. What's on tonight's agenda? Nothing really. Just usual chit chat. Nothing in particular. Nothing in particular. Though I am planning to do a questionnaire later on, maybe in a week or two. Sort of, I don't know, maybe 12 questions for the panelists when they come on. Sort of some sort of difficult questions, some questions which are, interesting for people who do these types of videos. Evening, Marty. Hang on, guys. My glasses keep breaking. And every time they do, it's a job to put them back together because you can't really see without your glasses, you know what I mean? Oh, dear. Oh, falling apart here. Literally falling apart. Hang on, Marty. I'll read your comment in a sec. One sec. Right. We were discussing Fools and Horses. I have a couple of great episodes for you, not obvious ones. Well, I've seen them all. So, what ones were you referring to? Strained Relations, where Granddad dies. Wanted, where Rodney is accused of rape. And I love the Cards one where Dell switches up with Boise. Yeah, there's a few good episodes. I mean, as well as more than a few good episodes of Only Fools and Horses. The Holiday one sticks out, I think, in memory. With the groovy gang with Rodney when he enters that. But when Dell enters him into that competition. Was it like he has to be classed as 15 or something, and he has to go along with the groovy gang and skateboard and do all that stuff, and then he meets a girl who's sweet on him, That's a brilliant one. The Christmas specials they did in the mid-90s, I always thought those were very good as well. Trying to think of the one with the Triskel brothers. That's a good episode. SM, you right? I think I may have given away my Only Fools and Horses box set. I've got bags behind me of DVDs which I'm clearing out, and I think the last bag of DVDs I took to the charity shop may have had the Only Fools and Horses box set in it. And I had the Christmas ones from the '90s as well, which is also I think it was like a 3 DVD box set. But I mean, I've got a copy of it on my computer. I've ripped basically all my entire collection of DVDs, so I basically have everything on a hard drive now. So I thought, well, it's not much point in keeping them. I really could have, I really would have liked like the actual complete Only Fools and Horses, as mine just had series 1 to, I think it's up to 7, isn't it? But it didn't include all the specials. It just had like the series is 1 to 7. So there was a lot more which I hadn't actually got. So if I was to find the actual complete Only Fools and Horses, I'll probably get it because there'll be quite a lot on there. I haven't actually got. Started to watch The Sopranos as well quite recently. That's a great series. Well, I say it's a great series. I haven't actually watched all of them yet. I've only just started watching the first season all these years later. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it over the years, but nothing like to what I'm doing now. Where I'm literally watching them from the start. But they are good. You got all the episodes, have you? All the specials. Yeah, mine didn't have the specials. It only had like the seasons on there, but there was no specials. There was no Christmas ones, and there was no what they did sort of like, was it in the early 2000s? Didn't they start up again the season, a new series? You got a penis. I did, however, get a couple of records this week. I It's one I've been after for a while, and I saw it in HMV. I said to my missus that this particular record, sells out a lot. You know, would you mind getting it for my birthday? you sort of hold on to it till then. And being how lovely my missus is, she agreed. And she even said to me, "Look, is there anything else you want?" I said, "Well, you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, that's all right. It's your 40th coming up. I want to get you a few bits and pieces." Oh, okay then. So I ended up with 2 records. But I said to her, "Look, I'm not going to open them, until my birthday. So I'll just hold on to them for a while. Then, you know, nearer the time, you can wrap them up." She said, No. You have them. Open them now. It's fine." I said, No, it's not. They're for my birthday, So she said, No, you have them." I said, "Well, I'm not going to open them." So I just sat here a moment. Albert or Grandad? Oh, for me, it has to be Albert. Um, I think Albert, he was a lot more funnier, wasn't he, than Grandad? I found uh, Grandad, he just lacked any kind of energy. He was just always sort of lethargic, and you know what I mean. I didn't necessarily appreciate the humor from the character. I mean, I like the part where he says about Del Boys. Oh, your dad always said you'll be a millionaire. And then again, he did predict that Millwall will win the FA Cup. I mean, that always makes me laugh. But Albert was a bit slapstick. Yeah, he was. He was. Um, but I think I preferred Albert nonetheless. I was thinking of maybe doing like maybe another comedy stream, but obviously not based on the comedy we've spoken about. Maybe just do sort of like sketch shows or something. But I'm not sure if that'll work. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of sketch shows and things we could probably use, but kind of feel like the whole thing has kind of been done now. Maybe we could revisit it. Friends, yeah, I must have seen so many rerun of Friends, not necessarily by choice, just because it's been on, because my partner wants to watch it. I can remember in the 90s watching it as a kid, and, sort of, liking it, but never, never gone out and actually brought the box set or, brought anything of Friends. Never a fan of Friends. It's good for what it is, but it's not really my bag. Early Friends is awful, genuinely unfunny. I can't even remember early Friends, apart from the fact I think that like had longer hair, didn't they? Like in the early first season. I used to watch like more sort of cartoon stuff, you know, sort of like in the 90s as a kid when Friends was on, you know. Simpsons, I guess, would have been on at the time. Beavis and Butthead. I can remember when I got my first VHS player, tuning it in on the Video Plus to record Beavis and Butthead, which was aired at something like, I don't know, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning or something. And obviously, I wasn't going to be awake at that time to watch it. So you would type a code in on the Video Plus, and it record it for you. But it was very hit and miss, you know, which was very frustrating. Sometimes it would sort of record the program or record it midway, or just not work at all. And yeah, those are the days. Sometimes I'd wake up in the morning, I would have an episode of Beavis and Butthead on my cassette player or video player, whatever you want to call it. And then some weeks I won't. You know, those sort of things we don't even think about, do we? You know, these days, all there at your fingertips. Trigger Happy TV. Yes, I remember that. I actually brought a DVD of that, I think, last week. First season. I do remember it. I can remember a sketch on there. He was all dressed up as a clown, and he goes up to like this restaurant or something, and he sort of appears at the window, and he shouts, "It's all a big joke to you, isn't it? Just a huge laugh, ha ha!" Every time I've seen that, me and my brother will always say that, you know, "It's all just a big joke to you." Gavin and Stacey, I've never bothered with it. Just never had any interest in that show whatsoever. Can remember a bit of Frasier when that was on. I think that was quite popular, but you know, I never was really invested in it as such. Another blast from the past in the 90s, talk about cartoons. Stressed Eric. Remember Stressed Eric? I think it was only lasted maybe a season or two. I always quite like that. Managed to pick up a copy on DVD. The Fast Show, of course, would have been a 90s comedy sketch show. Harry Enfield. Bottom as well, of course, very 90s. What else? Only Fools and Horses, of course. Big Train. Remember Big Train? And there was other comedies with sort of big train actors as well. Simon Penn and that, which were happening as well. I think at that sort of time, the 90s and the noughties. I can't remember what they were called. Men Behaving Badly, yeah. That was a classic. I forgot about that, actually. Yeah, Men Behaving Badly. I haven't watched those in ages. The Office, yeah. The Office. Goodness gracious me. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the actor who was in that. Let's do a bit of Googling. Right, 90s TV comedies. This is American and British, I guess. Father Ted, of course. Will and Grace. The Royal Family, of course, started in 1998. Ran for 3 seasons. Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm not familiar with that. American sitcoms, I think. The King of Queens. Started in 1998, ran for 9 seasons. That was on Channel 4, apparently. I don't remember that at all. Men Behaving Badly. That ran for 6 seasons, starting in 92. Game On. Started in 95, ran for 3 seasons. Home Improvement. That was on Disney. Yeah, Frasier. Bottom. Rabsy Nesbitt. Remember that? Keeping Up Appearances. Third Rock from the Sun. Started in 96. Spaced. Started in 99. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. That's what I was thinking about. That's what I was getting confused with the one Ian mentioned. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Harry Enfield and Chums. That was just hilarious. That was. Wings. Not familiar with that. The Miss Merton Show. Remember her? The League of Gentlemen. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Fast Show. Goodness gracious me. Started in 98, ran for 3 seasons. Spin City. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. South Park. Smack the Pony. That was what I was trying to think about. Smack the Pony. Yeah, I'm sure that has a lot of comedians from Big Train, I think, in that. They're kind of like a mix of those comedians and others. Got the Larry Sanders Show, News Radio, Boy Meets World, Beavis and Butthead, Drop the Dead Donkey, Waiting for God, Action. Not familiar with any of these. Cold Feet. I remember that. Weird Science. I Am Alan Partridge. Started in 97. Ran for 2 seasons. Martin. Sean's Show. Don't know that at all. Mad About You. Lex. That's LEXX. Started in 1997. Ran for 4 seasons. Family Guy started in 1999. Oh, I didn't know that. Carissa Explains It All. The Thin Blue Line. That started in 95, only ran for 2 seasons. Freaks and Geeks. That was part of the late 90s, 99, only the 1 season. And Pie in the Sky, which started in 94, ran for 5 seasons. Yeah, Red Dwarf as well, yeah. Red Dwarf, Dinner Ladies. Alan Partridge, yeah. Yeah, Ali G, yeah. I'm not sure if that was 90s or a little bit later. Yeah, Borat, yeah. Ali G, Bruno. One Foot in the Grave. Yeah, I think that was a little bit before the 90s, wasn't it? One Foot in the Grave. Oh, look. Foot in the Grave. Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, 1990. Yep. I thought it might have started in the late 80s or something, but no, 1990. You're right there. Lasted for 6 seasons. Borat 2. It's Abomination. I've never seen it. I didn't even know there was a Borat 2. Some of Keeping Up Appearances was filmed in Northampton. The feature was where my parents married and I was baptized. Was it? The lady, Hyacinth, she lives down this way, in Chichester. But a lot of those actors have passed away now, haven't they, Ian? I mean, virtually all of them, apart from Hyacinth and maybe 1 or 2 others. But there's not many of them left now. Frasier always gets praise every time I watch it. It wasn't for me. No, it wasn't for me either. Hello, hello. Did that start in the 90s? Absolutely Fabulous is funny. Still funny, but funny. Silly funny, but funny. Yeah, it's funny. Like some comedies get a bit dated, don't they? And others kind of last the test of time. Here we go. Look. Keeping Up Appearances, I don't think aged very well, but she's a great comedy character. Yes, it doesn't seem quite as relevant, does it, now as it did when it was aired? I think kind of that kind of snobbery, I think, isn't as apparent maybe these days as it was maybe going back like almost 30 years. Or maybe it is, but not so much noticeable. A lot of things have kind of, I don't know, a lot of things are a lot more sociably acceptable now, aren't they, compared to maybe 30 years ago. Frasier was terrible. If I want to keep up with a life for a pretentious prick from Seattle, you'll watch Mazzy. Brass Eye. Don't remember that. You're going on the PC now. Brass Eye. Stitching Noel Edmond up with a fake drug was brilliant. When I was a young lad, I sat in a chair. It was nice. It's kind of what I'm doing now. Spaced. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with Spaced. I remember the title. Got it here. I don't know where it is. On the kitchen. Sorry about that. Pretentious is a good word. Yes, it's a good word. Pretentious. Stick the link in there. Pretentious. Evening, Jason. You all right? Anybody brought any music at all this week? Or movies or anything? Discovered anything new? Is anyone reading? Does anybody read these days? Oh, hello. Hang on. I will. You're right, Ian.
I'm good.
Good.
Yes. While I was on my mobile, so my spelling's terrible. I've got my fingers are just not too big for the key. But I went and got all the Fools and Horses to show you what it looks like complete.
Yeah. Okay.
That is the lot.
Wow. Yeah. You can get like the actual box set though, can't you?
Yeah. I had this original box set with all the originals in. I had it as a Christmas present before that one come out.
Right.
So it was just a case. I just brought these as they come out.
That's what I did, but I think
so. I mean, it's just wonderful to have that series as it is.
Yeah.
I
think I've owned a few of, maybe not all of them, but I had quite a few specials.
Yeah, the specials are, we've got the Frog's Legacy.
Yeah.
A Royal Flush, which is a great one.
They're
One
like
of my favourite. The Royal Flush is, they go to an opera and Rodney gets in with the Duke of Mulberry and his daughter. It's ever so funny. They go to a posh dinner and
20 Boys House would have been one of them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, to Hull and Back.
Hull and Back, yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Fatal Attraction came next. Then the brilliant A Mother Nature's Son. That's the one where his mum's grave gets put a luminous paint on. Then you got the Miami Twice one.
Yeah.
Rodney come home after he got married. But my favourite, of course, of this is Jolly Boy's outing. It's just
That is a good one. Yeah.
that is one of my favourites. Then you got when he meets Raquel.
Yeah, that's it. That's an early one, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you've got the Christmas trilogy, the one where they became millionaires.
Yeah, that came out in the mid-90s, didn't it? Around about Christmas time.
And then I got the last one. I had this for Christmas. It's the one where the last ones they made when they were broke again. And
that's right. Yeah. When did that come out? Was it 2000? Around about then?
Let's have a look. I mean, they must be in the 2000s because look, they're quite old looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
2002 that one was.
Right.
If they could see us now, so they're around about 2002.
So that's 95 would have been the Christmas ones, wouldn't it? So that's a 7-year break, isn't it?
Yeah, that one, Time on Our Hands. I think about 7 million people actually watched that live.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most watched episodes of Fools and Horses. Because I mean, it's got that classic when they faint in the auction room.
Yeah, yes. That's where they should have left it, I think, shouldn't they?
Yeah, this is pretty weak, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I
think they should have just left it on a happy end. And there was no need to go back to them being poor again.
No, it doesn't sit well, does it?
Well, to be quite honest, it's not. Of all the ones I watch, I haven't watched this for years.
No.
It's weak. I mean, I've got it because I'm a completist, but
I get that.
Yeah.
But the whole sort of like the notion of them hitting the jackpot is a nice way of just ending it, wouldn't it? You know.
Yeah, but I if I'm going to be quite honest, the ones I watch the most come out of this box set.
Yeah.
It's got some of my favourite episodes. The one with the gold, where the gold con man keeps dying and having heart attacks and ripping everybody off.
There's some sort of very real emotional parts in that series. You know, when Rodney gets married and Dale was left there on the dance floor on his own, sort of, you know.
Yeah, there was lots of that, and then there's that wonderful one after Cassandra had a miscarriage, and and they get trapped in the lift.
That's right. Yeah.
That scene is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know, it was beautifully played by David and Nicholas. That, you know, I think when you've been working together that long, they knew each other. They knew the parts. It was just a wonderful scene. But you was mentioning the one when they go on holiday. You know, they win that competition. It's just John Sullivan. Where did John Sullivan come up with that?
I don't know, but it's got to be up there with the very best. I think that particular episode, isn't it?
Yeah, Gary. That's it, Gary. I think that's from Hull. That's on the Hull to Hullenbach one. Gary. Yeah, I've just because I have Audible. They had a 2-for-1 offer. You know, with your credit. Yeah. So I bought the new Brian Johnson. Got the Brian Johnson audio book, and they'd got 16 classic episodes on radio of Fools and Horses. So I can have them as well.
Get the Blu-ray set. It's uncut. George says. Didn't know that.
No.
Yeah. To Hull and Back, I think that's very good as well.
Yeah, I watched that the other week. It's just hilarious.
Is that the one where they smuggle in the diamonds or something? Yeah.
And then that's where the character Gary.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, that was a good,
Yeah, it's
very good one.
it is. People say that's dated, but I don't think it has.
I suppose they all kind of date to a slight degree, but some are more than others, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the struggles are still there today. You know, with market traders. You know that times are tough, and they were tough in that. You know, that portrayed working class people,
Yeah.
and that'll never go away. Like, I mean, look, you were saying about keeping up appearances. Yeah, there was a bit of pompous there, and that sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only one alive is Patricia. I mean, she's a wonderful actress.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot. She was in quite a lot. She did a couple of Steptoes and on the radio. I think she's been in all sorts, hasn't she? I mean, I loved her in that. Was it Hetty Wackthame when she was the amateur sleuth?
Right. I don't know it.
T. Wainthrop, that was it.
I wouldn't know it.
Yeah, that was really good. It's on BritBox. That is.
Yeah, a lot of them are on there, aren't they? BritBox.
Yeah. Yeah, Uncle Albert pretending to have a bad back and one rub on that boy's gadget and he turns into Wayne Sleep. Yeah.
So
yeah, two different characters, weren't they? Grandad and Uncle Albert.
Yeah, I didn't really appreciate Grandad, the character in the series.
Yeah, Leonard Pierce was another. I mean, Buster Merrifield. He used to live near my brother in Ferndown.
Right, Michael.
Yeah, he was. He used to live, and my brother said he used to see him regularly on a Saturday in Tesco's doing his shopping. Yeah, he said he always, and he said what he likes about it, people wouldn't stop. Obviously, there wasn't such thing as taking selfies, but he would autograph and if anyone did have a camera with them, like tourists and that, it would stop and he'd had someone would take a photo. Apparently, he was a really nice man, Buster Merrifield.
Didn't they actually do an episode where it wasn't aired, where they went to the funeral of Grandad?
Yeah.
And basically said their farewells to him.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually put it in, did they?
No, there's a bit of it on. No, I think they did because they went to the wrong funeral.
Did they?
Yeah, because Del Boy said something about, I wonder why I didn't recognise anybody. And they just got to the end of Grandad's. But one of my favourite characters has to be Trigger.
Yeah, I love Trigger.
Yeah, his new broom.
Was it on the Jolly Boys outing where they get stuck, don't they, for a bed sit for the night, and they all sort of slowly disperse outside the is it a bus station? I think they are, and like Trigger's like the only one who's like left there on his own. And you just sort of see him kind of walk in one direction and then change his mind and go into another direction and sort of not know where to go. It's very funny. It's very well filmed, the way it was done.
Well, they had some great actors in that. I mean, Boise, and Marlene. And of course, Mike, the landlord, Ken McDonald, he was the most tight-fisted landlord you'd ever come across. But he was such a character.
Both of them are dead now, aren't they?
Yeah. It's very, yeah. Lost Boise. I think Marlene. Is she still alive? The actress.
I think she is. It's the landlord's gone though, isn't he?
Yeah, and then you had Denzel.
Denzel, yeah.
And Mickey. There's some characters that.
They often appear in different things, don't they?
Yeah, Paul Barber played because he was in Full Monty, wasn't he? Paul Barber.
Yeah. Yeah, Mickey I've seen in other stuff as well. I think he appears in Scum, doesn't he, with Ray Winston, I think.
Yeah.
A load of other British actors.
You know, and then they brought in Gwyneth, was it Gwyneth Strong? What was it? Gwyneth Strong play Cassandra?
Yeah.
And then Raquel.
Mm.
Yeah, Green Grass didn't work. You're right there, Martin. It just didn't work. There's a lot of spin-offs that didn't work in comedy history.
Wasn't there another one of Fools and Horses they did as a spin-off?
That was when they were in their young days. I didn't think much of that either.
Was it something to do with Fish and Chips or something?
Fish and Chips, and yeah, it just didn't work.
Yeah, no.
For me.
It's had that actor from The In-Betweeners in it, didn't it?
Yeah, it does for this. Yeah, Farmer Boyce, yeah. Rock and Chips, that was it, Martin.
Rock and Chips, that's it.
Yeah, it just didn't. Nah, it didn't sit with me. I mean, didn't last long, did it?
No.
I think it was supposed to be a pilot, and it went down like a.
No, yeah. So you played Del Boy.
Yeah, I know we talked about comedy before, but there's so much. I mean, I did mention it in the chat. The Thick of It, which was one of the political satires. Peter Capaldi was in it.
Don't know that.
It was set as in a government in this. It started must have been about 97 when Labour went into. It was about Malcolm Tucker. He was like what's his name, Campbell, whatever it is, but he was like that character. I mean, the effing and jeffing in it is just absolutely wonderful. It went on for 4 series. Yes, Peter Capaldi was brilliant. Malcolm Tucker, what a legend.
It seems sort of like after sort of the early 2000s that comedy changed a bit. You know, it was a bit more PC, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't find anything
like The Office, Bo Selector, stuff like that. They got away with a lot, you know, which I don't think they would be able to do now. You know,
it's just like Gavin and Stacey. What's funny about that?
I don't
Nothing.
know. I never watched it. Watched a bit of Friends, but
I mean, and what I liked as well, it went downhill a little bit. The one that Robert Lindsay was in and where Chris Marshall started. What was it called? Zoe Wanamaker was in it. Chris Marshall played the son.
Don't know. I wouldn't know the actors.
Fat son. He played a dentist. Robert Lindsay played a dentist. Come on, Martin, you must know that.
Oh, My Family?
My Family, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
But when Chris Marshall left, it went downhill.
Yeah, My Family. Outnumbered as well was another one of that era.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of that is the cast never changed, did it?
No.
The kids started off as little kids, and by the time it finished, they were all teenagers. And I think that worked.
Yeah, it's good how they sort of kept that up.
Didn't because it was Claire Skinner played the mum, and Hugh Dennis played the dad, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they ended up being together in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
See, one of the more modern ones I like, and that was Not Going Out.
Don't know that.
Yeah, Lee Mack.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite good. But you know, when they see these new comedies come on and you watch them, they go, yes, thing. It's like that thing, Ghosts. There was nothing funny about that.
Never watched it.
No, I watched one episode and I thought, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Because there's nothing here I want to laugh at.
What would be your, stepping away from comedy here, what would be your first really sort of great series you watched? Serious series, so to speak.
Cool. I did catch I was old enough to catch the end of the Sweeney on TV. But I would say it's going to be Starsky and Hutch. Is one of the big ones I remember when that started, because it was on a Saturday night before Match of the Day.
This have been something you watched from the start to the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And The Professionals, of course.
Right. I can remember the early 2000s. I'm trying to think of the bloody name of the series now. It's escaped me. That's gonna really bug me now. Well, you probably know it. It's about a funeral service, and every week someone passes away, and they, book in, so to speak, with this funeral place. God, I can't remember the bloody name. Got brain fog.
I think I know the series, but I can't remember the thing. And I must admit, I mean, I don't watch it now, but when it started, I did watch The Apprentice, the first, and then that was not about. It was just about stupid characters. Blake Seven, yeah, I liked Blake Seven. I'll tell you who is a big fan of Blake Seven, and that's Dave. I know he had every episode of Blake Seven on VHS. On VHS, because in his lounge he had the shelf, and it was just full of Blake Seven.
6 Feet Under. That's it.
6 Feet Under. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a brilliant series.
Yeah, 6 Feet Under was a very, very good series.
Band of Brothers as well. I think that was a brilliant series.
Yes, I watched that, and of course Sharp.
Sharp as well, yeah.
Yeah, watched that from day one.
Yes, that's got to be one of my favourites.
I mean, obviously, I'd read some Sharp books before they put it on TV, so that was the other one we watched, and we watched it as a family, and that was Roots.
Roots, yeah.
Yeah. We watched it as a family, and we talked about, it was, when you was kids, you'd sit down with your family and you'd talk about history and not go, oh, this is shocking, we shouldn't be watching it. We learnt about it, and that's why we're educated about the slave trade and everything like that. And it just, I loved how it went through the years.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant series, one of the best series the BBC ever put out. Tenko, yeah, we watched Tenko as well. Oh yeah, we used to like Tenko. And the other thing I watched as well, and it was The Secret Army.
Secret Army?
Yeah, which LOLO's actually based on.
I don't know that. Have you read the latest Sharks book?
No, I haven't. I haven't got it. It's one I haven't read.
Assassin.
No, I haven't read that one.
Very good.
Oh.
Very, very good.
Oh, well, I'll have to see if I can go and find that.
It's been out for a couple of years now.
Well, the first place I'll look is in the...
You'll see it in the charity shops eventually, no doubt.
What am I drinking tonight? Well, this is from my Christmas stock. I've still got it. And it's just called Elf.
That's a good idea. I want to get a beer.
Yeah, this is called Elf, and it's actually got got Elf on the front of it. Yeah, so Wally's got a Secret Army. That's about the Belgian resistance set in a cafe in Belgium. And of course, Hello Hello set in France, and there was Airman and and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I like that comment. Yes, going back to the Secret Army. That was the series, and then they came up with Hello Hello. We all always remember Hello Hello than Secret Army. But Secret Army was excellent.
I did at one time. I owned an original Sharps hardback book, first edition, and sold it for about 200 quid on eBay.
Yeah, when you think about some of these adaptations on TV, I thought the Sharp one was very close to the books.
Yeah, I think it helps by Bernard Cornwell's revision and knowledge of that particular period. He had like all these sort of all the fine details, didn't he, of the battles and what took place, and he kind of adapted that into his fictional character, didn't he?
Yeah, and they got the uniforms right as well, apparently.
Uniforms was right, yeah.
Yeah, I used to work with a military historian. It was his hobby. And he said that the Sharp uniforms were spot on for that period in the army at the time, for the French and the English.
Yeah.
Even when Sharp turned up in that first episode, not dressed in regular, they said that the research gone into that was sort of off the booky sort of uniform.
They could do another TV series because he wrote Devils, which was based when he was retired. So if Sean Bean wanted to, he could reprise that role as an older Sean.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else could play him.
No, I don't. It has to be.
And personally, I wouldn't want to see anyone else play him.
That's if he'd be willing to do it,
He loved playing the part, though, didn't he? So,
I think they run into money problems, didn't they, when they were doing the Indian ones of this sort of 2005 and a little bit later, wasn't it? I think they cut the funds for it. I think it was ITV said, look, no more, we're not doing it, which was a shame.
The thing is that Amazon could pick it up now.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
Amazon, Netflix, Paramount, any of these streaming channels. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are Sharp fans. Yeah,
there is. Yeah, it has quite a big following, actually.
What I like about it, it's proper swashbuckling, swords and cannons and proper old-fashioned warfare, isn't it? Where they always still line up before they went into battle and looked at each other and waved their arms and and all that, and into battle. But yeah, that's why I love it.
Yes, it's the whole glory of it is very much elevated, isn't it, in the series? I mean, it wouldn't be in real life. It would be horrifying and frightening experience, but like that, it's really sort of they make you feel, like it has this kind of power behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that sort of period anyway. I mean, one of my favourite films is Master and Command.
Oh yeah, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. That
Yeah.
film is
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
It
shows the horrors of being on a warship in the Napoleonic Wars.
Yeah, Hornblower as well. That's a good series.
Yeah, it's just it's that poignant bit at the end where a lot of the main the characters that had been in the film, that final battle, they all, where they put them in the thing and they put the last. That is absolutely spot on. That's what they used to do. Put the last stick through the nose.
Yeah.
And some great characters. They killed a lot off. It wasn't like. That's what I liked about it. The characters we got to love during that movie were killed off at the end. Even that young lad.
What are you talking about, Sharp?
No, I'm talking about Master and Command.
Master Commander.
Yeah, the young lieutenant. Because there was the guy that had to have his arm amputated, and he did the thing, and it's such brilliance.
Yeah, I never really touched the film. I've seen it. I know what you're talking about, but regarding Russell Crowe, I just think Gladiator. I just think that's just a superb movie. You can't beat it,
Yeah, I mean, I showed that last night, didn't I? It's one of the best beginnings of any film you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's everybody's, I wouldn't say favorite, but certainly in their top 10, isn't it? Gladiator gets mentioned.
Yeah, it is. It is one of my favorite films, and it's one of them that I can put on time and time again and not get bored with it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I put it on when I brought my big, well, it's not a big screen, but back when I brought it, the big 50-inch screen TV, curved TV. One of the first films I watched was Gladiator. Through the surround system as well. It just, it feels like you're in the battle, especially when all them arrows go right at the beginning.
Yeah, that battle scene at the beginning is something else, isn't it?
It's brutal.
It is, yeah.
I think there's only other one battle scene that's as brutal as that, and that's in Braveheart.
Braveheart, yeah, that's got a lot of brutality. I think the beginning of Saving Private Ryan as well on the Omaha beach. That's a brilliant.
Yeah, that's when you play that, especially if you've got a surround sound thing. The bullet, it's all over the place. It's immense.
That whole movie, when you see that old man at the start of the movie, you're just pulled into his world, in the past and into World War II so well, aren't you? And almost at moments that movie, it always brings a tear to your eye because it's so emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have actually walked up Omaha Beach, so it just takes it. I found it daunting just walking up it then, knowing what took place on that beach.
Yeah,
and as I said, my history teacher knew everything, and he was telling us where the guns were and the machine gun posts, and you imagine coming off here and you got bullets from all directions. To get to just to get off the beach was a miracle.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just because some of them didn't even get off the landing craft.
No, just machine
Yeah,
gunned down.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean that scene at the beginning is one of the. And I think I've seen reviews of of realistic, and I think they say it's one of the most realistic.
yeah. I don't think there's any kind of other film which kind of showcases it, the realism as well as that particular movie.
Yeah, I think the other one that nearly come close to it was We Were Soldiers,
We were so that Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, because the
Nah,
what
I
made
don't think.
that, and the guy that the character he played actually was an advisor on that film. And
All
I
right,
remember reading that he said they got it absolutely right. He said he wouldn't have let them. He told me they had to, if he was going to do it, they had to do it right, in respect for those that fell.
right.
And I mean, that's another great movie. Okay, people don't want to see it, but if you're going to do a war film, you've got to show the brutality of war.
Mm. That's Vietnam, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um, I tend to think about Vietnam movies. I think about Platoon, Full Metal Jacket. Not so much that one.
no.
Uh,
See, I like the movie. What's the one that Michael J. Fox was in?
Casualties of War.
Yeah, that. I love that.
That is a good movie. Yeah.
Hamburger Hill. Yeah, that's another good one.
It's a bit hard to watch, though, I think, Casualties of War, isn't it? Because the rape and that goes on in the film.
Yeah,
It's, I suppose it is a part of war, but it's not the sort of typical war film to watch, is it?
no,
When it's based on a rape.
yeah. But I mean, brilliant acting in it.
Oh, it is, yeah. Sean Penn's in it, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The acting is really good. Mm. True story as well, I think, isn't it?
it's based on facts. Yeah.
Mm. Yes. There's another Vietnam film with Tommy Lee Jones in it. I can't think what it's called.
I can't think. I know he was him, and I can't think of the name of it. I know I
He-
haven't got it.
Heaven and Earth.
Yeah, that's it. I haven't got
Yeah.
that one. I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Mm. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, have a good weekend, Jen.
Yeah, have a good weekend, Jen.
In the Name of the Father, not a war film, but a very good film.
Never seen it.
Yes, very good film.
I've got my my dad's British hit singles.
Wow. What edition is that?
It's 87.
God.
But I mean, it's old, but it's good if you want a quick sort of like research before 87. That's why I sort of held on to it, because like the later editions get thicker and thicker, don't they? I mean,
Yeah, the one I use.
this is a later one, and it's just
Hold on, yeah,
the thickness of it is just gets bigger and bigger. So like for a quick reference, I've just sort of held on to it, Obviously, it misses a lot of stuff of the 80s.
Yeah, this is the one I've got. But it's not just the singles.
What year is that then?
This came out in 2005.
All right.
which is it's one of
Singles
the
and albums. All right, okay.
which is pretty good because you can't rely on Wikipedia because they do get it wrong. You look at Wikipedia and some of the entries, and you go, that's not right. Because they forget about they concentrate more on obviously the American, because Wikipedia is an American thing. They forget to mention bits from the UK.
Yeah, this is 2006 actually, and this is singles and albums.
Yeah, they are Bibles, aren't they? Really?
They are. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of information in there. So like for ease, I held on to this just to quickly, have a look.
There's another one I used
pre-87.
I'm going to get that because this is a great little book. This is another great little book.
Rock movers and shakers.
The 87 people who made rock and roll happen. So I've opened up a page. Can you see? We got Sinead O'Connor, and that's all this down that side. Hang on, this side here. It's all about Sinead O'Connor and bits that through her career, year by year, like where she was living and everything else. I mean, this is obviously it doesn't go up to a death because this is what year is this?
It's quite detailed.
1991, but it covers what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's not, like when I do my when I go through albums and their first albums, who they go in there and you can find who left when and why. So it's a good little book to have.
Yeah. I've got one or two others as well.
Yeah, so when these people say, you get your trollers say that I read off Wikipedia. Oh no, I don't. I'm old-fashioned. I get books.
Yeah, I mean it's handy to have a few books in your collection, just for a point of reference, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a couple here. Make myself big. I have the Encyclopedia of Albums.
That's a good. I did have a copy of that. I don't know what happened to it, but it's
pretty good. I'm not sure on the year, but I'm guessing 90s. It probably came out. '98. You got all the album art in there as well. And
it's a really good book, isn't it?
It is a good book. Yeah. Another page.
So for you trollers, you can't say that Simon and myself just use Wikipedia because we don't.
And I got the A to Z of names in rock.
That's a good one as well. That looks a...
So from rock to pop, jazz to soul, and country to indie, from acts of today to the bands of yesteryear, basically in A to Z, from ABBA to ZZ Top. Mark Beach has interviewed thousands of stars of the music world to find the answer to the one great questions in music. Why are they called that?
Yes, it's amazing where people get there.
Why did the Quarrymen become the Beatles, for example? Were Oasis named after a minicab company, a nightclub, a curry house, or a song? Why did Nirvana move away from Skid Row? Which world-famous groups were originally called the Screaming Abdams, the miraculously majestic Masters of the Universe, the High Numbers? It's all here. The bands who stumbled upon their names by chance, those who found their names through random stabs in the dictionary or mishearings, along with tales of the group named after dinosaurs, dogs, dolls, and drugs. Sometimes controversial and often hilarious, the A to Z of names in rock provides a fascinating look behind some of the biggest names in the music industry. All for £2 in a charity shop.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that, can you?
No. No. Yeah.
It's amazing where people get the names of their bands from.
A lot of them is from songs from other artists.
Yeah.
Aren't they? More often than not.
Yeah, I mean, like you take the Zootons. Their name is taken from the guitarist Zoot Horn Rollo from Captain Beefheart. How random's that? You don't... I mean, like Black Sabbath, you know how they got their name? They were called Earth. There were two bands called Earth. One was a more soulful, and then you got Black Sabbath because someone booked the wrong Earth.
All right.
And they thought, well, we've got to change our name.
Black Sabbath.
And, there was opposite where they were, there was a cinema, and the film was the horror film Black Sabbath was showing, and Geezer Butler went, there, that'll do, Black Sabbath.
Just checking my books. I thought I might have had a Black Sabbath hardback, but I don't.
So that's where our Black Sabbath got the name.
I don't have much Black Sabbath, actually.
Yeah, I had most of mine on CD, but that's some of the classic albums I need to start think. I went looking for an album today that I brought when it came out, and I couldn't find it. And I've been through all my boxes, and I can't find it. And I thought, I love this album. It was from a Japanese band called Valwal. And I thought, went on eBay, I thought, it's either going to be not there or rare and too expensive.
Yeah.
Went on there, buy it now, £6.50 plus £4 postage and packaging. Sorted, done.
I went through all my CDs maybe 2-3 years ago and like ripped them to my computer. And of course, obviously, I still got most of them, if not all of them. But there was like a one or two in there where the CD wasn't in the case. And I was like, where did that go? Like, what happened to that CD? It just remains a mystery, you know, even to this day. You know, where that CD has gone. And there wasn't many.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee's had a few of them. I mean, like when someone gave him Magnum's Goodnight LA and he wanted me to clean it, and it was Vigilante. So it's got the album Vigilante and the cover of Goodnight LA.
Only thing I could think of was perhaps like it was in the car and it either fell out of the car or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm sure I could, I mean, this cover, it's not when you're going to, it's black with a big yellow V on it.
Right.
Don't know where it all went. I don't know where it went. So I'm glad I'm going to get it again because I do love the album. Because I was playing the previous album, I thought I'll put the other one on. Yeah, check your old CD players. That's a good place to check, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember Hard-Fi. Yeah. I like some of their songs, actually, Hard-Fi. Yeah, check your old CD players. It's you'd be surprised how many CDs people forget they put in the CD player. And
yeah, it's like you say that when I was clearing out when I moved this time, in one of these boxes, I found my Sony Walkman with a tape in it.
Yeah. What was in it?
Communicate, Dire Straits.
All right.
But I've got nothing to play it on.
You ain't got a cassette player?
No, I even put some batteries in the Walkman.
Yeah.
And the Walkman don't work anymore. So.
Oh no.
But yeah, you wonder where they're going. There we are. It turned up.
Yeah.
They've only been mislaid for about 20 years,
Yeah. Thing is, you can get it on stuff on CD for an absolute pittance now, can't you?
Yeah. I'm going to start. I think I can find somewhere to make a few CDs. There's certain things I want to get. Like I've foolishly got rid of all my Led Zepp.
Have you?
But I've never had them on our album, so I might get them on album because there's only 8.
I've got one I can give you. I've got 2 copies of Led Zeppelin 2.
Oh, what?
So if you want one, I'll send you it.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
That'd be one off your list.
One off my list. Because I wouldn't mind getting them again, and it's just when I had to get rid of my CDs, I was gutted.
When you say you had to get rid of them, what do you mean you had to get rid of them?
I had got nowhere to put them. I mean, I've got nearly 2,000 CDs.
That's probably what I've got. Yeah.
Yeah, and where I used to live, there was room, but
yeah,
downsizing.
That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, I've only got like a fraction of what I have here in this room. What you see to the side of me. That's
basically what you're doing with your DVDs. I've had to do with my CDs. They were in a box by my bed, the box actually, where they were all in, served as a bedside table for many months as well, and I kept just ripping them onto my iPod and just getting rid of them. Them companies you can send and that's what I just kept doing, sending them away. It was heartbreaking. I think the only thing I kept was my Iron Maiden singles box set.
Yeah, it is a risky thing to do because you can come into regret by doing it, can't you? That's the thing. That's the thing I worry about all the time. Like I got these bags of DVDs and stuff here, which I could just all sort of put in the car and take them all away in one hit. But I don't want to do that just yet. I don't want to be too hasty. You know what I mean? Just take one, take that to the charity shop, and then maybe next week take another, take the charity shop. Because I don't want to hit a brick wall where I think, oh shit, I should have kept hold.
Yeah, I had a case of either getting rid of the CDs or the DVDs. So I chose the CDs because it was easy to store them on iPods.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got iPods with stuff that I've sort of borrowed, pinched off people, etc., etc.
I will go through my CDs at some point because I want to knock down the compilations I have, because compilations aren't really worth a lot. I thought, well, maybe they could go first and maybe keep the albums. But anything musical, I think has a little bit more. I don't know, worth a little bit more, I suppose.
I mean, when at movies, I mean, I had a friend that worked within the industry, and he was able to get me copies of DVDs. Yeah, he's a bit naughty, but so I've got, these then like folders that hold up to about 300 movies.
Yeah.
I've got them. They're all on blanks, and I've just written the films on them, and I've sort of he edited them and put a beginning on them, so they don't look hooky.
Right.
Although they are hooky.
Yeah. Some box sets, some like box sets I brought in the past, like a really sort of large in size, and later on years later, I brought the same collection but like smaller boxes. So it's just a bit more sort of smaller and compact. I can store it.
Yeah, I must admit, when it comes to films, I do stream and watching mine, a lot of mine on. Like, I haven't got all the Star Trek movies now, but they're all on Paramount Channel.
There is a lot of options, isn't there?
Yeah, so when it comes to movies, I just there's certain things I've got on my movies, like on my Bond movies. I mean, I've got a lot of my Clint Eastwood are all copies. Yeah, but they're great copies, except Dirty Harry. Oh, I've got the box set of Dirty Harry. So
yeah, storing like DVDs to a hard drive, they're about, I don't know, 3 gig for a movie. But when you go to like the likes of Blu-ray, it's something like 30 gig per movie. It's a big increase.
Yeah, I mean, I only tend to buy DVDs and Blu-rays of things that I've been collecting. Like, I haven't got the latest Indiana Jones one yet. I've seen it because but I'll eventually get it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
To add to my collection. That's the only ones I buy these days.
Yeah, I brought it on the Microsoft store when it came out, and I'm starting to regret about doing that now, because I would have preferred the physical copy of it.
Yeah, I think the last one I brought was the Kingsman, the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it all depends on what comes out. I mean, if any say they, God forbid, if they did, there's that rumours they're going to make another Fools and Horses. If it came out on DVD, I'd have to have a copy. I suppose when they did them lost episodes of Dad's Army, okay, they were on UK Gold, but I had to go and buy the DVD because I've got everything else of Dad's Army. So, but I haven't seen the cartoon versions of it yet. I don't know if that's out on DVD.
Well, the black and white cartoon they did.
Yeah.
It is out on DVD. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't got that one. That's one I must get.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it in Tesco's actually, and I think they wanted a tenner for it, and I was like, oh, they really want to spend a tenner when I could probably pick it up for £1, in a charity shop.
Yeah, although I think that's the first place I'll look. But then again, who would throw away a Dad's Army DVD of any sort?
Well, I'm guilty because I did that this week. Yeah, the box set.
What, the whole series? Have you loaded it up though?
Oh yeah. I have, yeah. I've loaded everything. So, I haven't lost anything.
I just couldn't get rid of my dad's army. Not for the. I mean, I'll definitely never ever get rid of me ain't half hot mum.
I'm in this position where I'm just thinking I need to downsize and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got too much shit basically, and how long can you keep holding on to all this stuff for? I thought I got way too much stuff. I need to downsize. So I managed to get basically everything I really wanted in about 4 bags, 4 bags of life bags.
So if you want to watch it on your telly, what do you do?
Well, I just watch it through my computer. So I load up my computer and then I go into my external hard drive, click on the file, and it's on screen. So,
I know I had a thing where I could put it on a memory stick, put it into my DVD player, and I could play it from the stick.
Right.
I've had that for a little while. But I did this thing. I brought a DVD that I couldn't play because it was a Region 1 DVD.
Oh yeah.
So I went on eBay and just typed in Region 1 DVD player, and I picked one up for 20 quid.
Yeah, you can get them pretty cheap now.
Yeah, because years ago you couldn't. So
no.
Knowing that, when I was I think it was on Amazon, and the classic They Died with Their Boots On, the Errol Flynn Custer movie came up on there, and it was Region 1. I thought, I can buy that.
Yeah. Well, that's another reason I did it, because some of my, not all, but some of them are Region 1 movies and stuff. And I got software which can rip it, which will play, on a.
Yeah, it's like poor old Lee. He's got this Rolling Stones concert. When I reviewed of all the 3 concerts, he's never watched it because the only place he's watched it is around mine. I just keep telling him, get yourself a Region 1 DVD player.
Yeah, I've got one. I don't use it very much, but I like.
No, I only watch it. I've only got two things on Region 1.
Have you? I've got a load of stuff on Region 1 and some Blu-rays as well. Ian says, I don't buy any DVDs. I just download everything and put everything on an external hard drive, which I plug into my TV. That's basically what I do, but in my computer. Yeah.
The thing is, you can link your computer to your TV these days, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably connect the hard drive to the TV, because it's got its own separate power port as well. So.
Good evening, Richard.
Evening, Richard. I'll better put the link out in case Richard wants to come on. Yeah, I've got a load here of Region 1s. Let's have a look through. Oh, they're not all. Oh, they're not all Region 1. There's a few movies that I got on Region 1 which I wanted to keep hold of, and that's can't seem to find this on Region 2, so I kept hold of it. That's Pacific Heights, Michael Keaton. Remember that?
Yeah, I've not seen that on. Every time I've looked at it myself, it's all Region 1, isn't it?
Yeah. Even this is Region 1. But yeah, but seeing that I can't find it on Region 2, I kept hold of it. So I thought, brilliant film. So and The Crush.
Blimey.
Don't seem to see this on.
No, I haven't seen that. Advert anywhere.
Yeah, Anelka, Alicia Silverstone's in it, and yeah, Carly Elves, is it? Is in Saw, I think, after this. You right, Richard?
Good evening, guys. How are you?
You right?
Tickety boo.
Why are you wanting to buy a Region 1 DVD player? Get a multi-region one that plays them all.
Another one?
Yeah. Chinatown, bloody hell.
Chinatown, Region 1.
No, I just made the mistake because I always check, but I didn't check. So
I bought a multi-region one years ago because some of my Hammer DVDs I could only get on Region 1. So I bought the multi-region and it plays Region 1 and Region 2. And I don't understand why you have to have different regions.
No.
You know,
but when this one does finally die on me,
Piracy regions, isn't it? Piracy regions.
Yeah.
See, mine's got a button as well that plays, because I have got my Dolly Your Boots on is not a PAL, it's the NCTS format. So when I watch that, I have to change formats on my multi-region one as well. So there you go. But Lee can't play his Rolling Stones box set. It just permanently lives around my house.
This is a nice little box set I didn't want to part with. That's the British Invasion box set. What about the 60s?
Oh, excellent.
And you can see the Herman's Hermits, Dusty Springfield, Small Faces, and Jerry and the Pacemakers. So it's a little bit of documentary on there and their music. So I just thought it's a nice little set. And they did a Hollies one as well, I think, which I've got somewhere. I can't seem to find that. There's somewhere in my collection.
Well, today I did a short on a Slade album, We'll Bring the House Down.
Oh, was that? I saw it, but I thought that was an old one. I saw it in the feed.
Yeah, I'll put that up today.
Do you know what you should have done, Ian? You should have done a proper video on Richard Tandy rather than just a short.
I am doing something on Richard Tandy, don't worry.
Because I know John Heaton's done one, and James Griffiths actually did a dual one. Was it last night on Richard Tandy and Mike Pinder?
Yeah, I'm doing a retro ranking in a couple of weeks' time, but at the moment I'm trying to find. I'm going to do it on them bits of Richard Tandy that made that song. So it means I'm having to listen to a lot of. I've got a rough idea which songs, but I want to listen to them and do more in depth what bit made that song. But today I just put up Daybreaker, which I think to me is just Richard Tandy all over it.
That's one of those descending keyboard riffs.
Yeah, one of his there's so many doing on the LO records, isn't there? Standing in the Rain's another one that just comes to mind. Tightrope, there's a little bit in Tightrope as well. But I put a Dwayne Eddy one up as well today. And
he must have been some age.
80 something, I think. 1938 he was born.
38, that would have made him 86.
Yeah, he was. Someone put a rather horrible comment about Dwayne Eddy that he's going to rot in hell.
Why would you do that?
Well, I said normally I would take these sort of things down, but I'm not today. How dare you? This man inspired so many people to pick up a guitar, and one of them was my dad.
And I said, did Dwayne Eddy have anything, any skeletons in his cupboard, like the way what do you call your guy, Jerry Lee Lewis
No,
had.
I don't know. I never heard anything of him having skeletons in his cupboard. But I told him, you know, obviously got very strong religious beliefs.
Right.
And I says, take your religious beliefs and go back and crawl under the stone that you're coming from. I was quite angry that someone would put that on an RIP.
Listen, it's internet. You're going to get that. You just accept it and brush it off.
I just went, no, I'm going to make this man look a fool.
Picked up a Blue Note today, but not on vinyl, on CD. A New Perspective, Donald Byrd, Bands and Voices. Blue Note. Bit of a rarity. Don't normally see that in the charity shops.
Yeah, twang. Yeah. And I didn't put Rebel Rouser on, or because we're alone. I put moving and grooving, because to me that did express that twang that he used to have.
I actually have a Dwayne Eddy album, and it's one that he made in 1989, and there was a Jeff Lynne song on it. So I wonder if Richard Tandy's playing on it. I must check to see if he's actually playing on it. Because you know the way around the late 80s, all the sort of older artists were starting to have a bit of a comeback. Like your Brian Wilson had a solo album, and Del Shannon and Roy Orbison and Dwayne Eddy. So even Van Morrison had a big comeback in '89.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Jeff Lynne did some work with Del Shannon, didn't he?
Oh, he did, yeah. Tom Petty did more work. Tom Petty. There's an album by Del Shannon in '82 called Drop Down and Get. That's basically a Tom Petty album.
He helped a lot of people, didn't he, Tom Petty, in the
very much so
in the '80s, didn't he?
Simon, have you heard the Johnny Cash album Unchained?
I haven't, but I know what you're talking about. I don't actually own it, but
it's
I know
it's pure Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Johnny Cash. It's my favorite one of those American recording albums. It's the second one. I think it's brilliant.
Really?
It's one of the great. Oh, it is really, really good.
Yeah, it's always been in my want list, but I never got around to.
You should pick it up. You should even. They even do a cover of the Wilburys. I Won't Back Down on it.
Right.
So very good. Very good album.
All right.
Yeah, the Vinyl Voices Unchained is a masterpiece.
Yeah. That's my favorite of those.
It's a very good album.
It's funny though how people of you'd be a millennial, aren't you, Simon?
Yeah.
We're Generation X, just Ian.
Yeah,
just if we were born 3 years earlier, we would have been 3 years, we would have been boomers.
Yeah.
But it seems that as time's gone by, all our idols growing up, they're all dying off.
Yeah.
I was saying about the people that I've seen in concert that are no longer with us. It's sad. I mean, status quo. Rick's no longer with us. Alan's no longer with us. Richard Tandy now. Kenny Grau Kirch.
David Bowie for me. I've seen him twice in concert. He's gone.
Phil Lynott, John Lord, Ronnie James Dio,
Joe Strummer for me.
Yeah, it's just Albert Collins, Gary Moore. I feel lucky that I've seen them. Of course, Freddie.
Same for me when I go through my collection and my kids see some of my records and stuff. Oh, he's no longer with us. He's dead. She's dead. And they don't understand. Why they're dead? It's all new to me. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I think the next one that's really going to hit me whenever he does go is actually going to be Noddy Holder. Whenever he goes, I'm going to be bothered.
Because I mean, well, I think we've said this before. Of all the bands that Richard and I grew up on, the one that's still all alive is Slade.
And ABBA, of course. Don't
And
forget.
ABBA, yeah.
I'm not going to talk about ABBA. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. But they're still alive.
Yeah,
I think McCartney's going to be the big one, isn't it?
Oh my God! Whenever McCartney goes,
That's going to be, yeah.
I think, you know, though, if McCartney does go, they're going to plug a song to get to the top of the charts. And I'm always thinking it's going to be Mull of Kintyre, but I actually don't think it will be now. I think the song they're going to plug is Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
I do, yeah.
I would have
all the
thought
tributes will be
Let
out
It
for
Be,
that.
maybe something like that.
Or a lot of people think it'll be Band on the Run, but I think Live and Let Die is going to be plugged. And because of the words live and let die, so let him go.
I don't think it'll bode well, will it? Like,
I don't know. And it is he plays all the time in concert. I have a feeling that's the one they're going to go for. I hope it's Mull of Kintyre.
Yeah, you said the first person that I listened to, I remember dying as a kid was Elvis.
Me too. And the second person was Mark Bolan because he died
just after. Yeah. You know, someone that I'd been listening to as a kid. Well, it just was hard to comprehend. And then I think when we lost, obviously we lost. I like Bon Scott, John Bonham. Freddie Mercury was another one. John Lennon, I remember exactly.
John Lennon was the one that was tough to take because my brother was at home. I was 14. He was 18. I was 18, actually, 1980, yeah. And he was devastated. And my mum went down, to get him up for school and told him then, and he was as white as a sheet. White as a sheet.
It's quite ironic. I was born I shared the birthday with John Lennon, and my brother, that's the day he was killed, 9th of December.
Mm-hmm. So you just...
Yeah, and my brother was... I mean, my brother, obviously our family were all big Beatles fans. My brother's 3 years younger than me. And he's never really... And then when my granddad died on my brother's birthday. So he's never had a really good birthday. He's, John Lennon dying, one of his musical heroes, and our granddad dying on he's never really celebrated his birthday since my granddad died. Keeps it quiet.
The worst one to affect me actually was David Bowie. And I heard on the morning, I was at Belfast International Airport going over to Edinburgh because we were working there. And anyway, and the girlfriend phoned me and I said, no, check again, because you know the way you get hoaxes. The amount of times I've read that Rowan Atkinson has died is ridiculous. And he's still alive. And I said, check. And she turned on all the news and it was there. And I had to have a stiff lip because it's the first time I've been introduced to this place. I was like a consultant for their hygiene. And I did the full day's work and I got back to the travel lodge. Oh, they really put us up in great places. But I got up the bedroom and I just broke in tears.
I remember Freddie dying.
Oh, well, I was very, very sad about Freddie. The other one, believe it or not, that I was really choked up about was actually Donna Summer. Because I had no idea Donna Summer was ill. Like, I knew Whitney Houston was in trouble anyway because of the drugs. And I knew that, Amy Winehouse was in trouble because of the drugs. But I knew nothing about Donna Summer. And to hear her go. And I was brought up with Donna Summer as well. I thought, my God, this is ridiculous. This is terrible. But
I mean, when Alan Lancaster died, that hit me. But the one that really hit me bad was Rick Parfitt.
I'm sure it did. But if you watched that Frantic Four reunion, be honest, Alan Lancaster looked ill.
He did.
And he sounded ill. and he was a skin and bones, and you knew that he didn't have long left.
I think when you look at it now, I think that's why they had this reunion, you know.
It could well have been.
And I think that's why him and Francis made up.
Made up.
I think it's a lot to do it. I mean, I didn't go and I couldn't get tickets to go because of work commitments. But Lee said that Alan was not on stage. He was like a stiff board.
Yeah.
He struggled.
Phil Collins isn't looking too good either, is he?
I feel so sorry for him as well. I really do. Although I'm not a huge Phil Collins fan, you know, Genesis, and especially in the 1980s, the band was as big as Michael Jackson, really, nearly.
Yeah.
Just for the slightly older.
Yeah, I think the next, you know, when anything happens to Francis or John, you know, that will be that. You know, this is my favorite band of all time, my childhood.
Yeah, well, Naughty for me.
I think Noddy as well. I think once, and as you say, when people from Slade,
yeah,
it's. I mean, we nearly lost him, and we never knew about it.
Yeah, but the problem is with that as well, Ian. If he has recovered from it, unfortunately, there's always a chance that it comes back.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, as much as I love Noddy now, he doesn't look well.
He doesn't look good.
No, he doesn't. He's thin as anything now, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, and Don doesn't look too grand. You know that.
Don has got a bit of a tick, if that's the correct word to use it. But if you watch him in interviews, he goes like this here a lot, constantly. And I think it might be to do with something with his car crash back in '73.
Yeah. Have you noticed after that car crash, if you watch videos of him drumming on top of the pops, he's like, as he's playing, isn't he? He's always making movements on his mouth.
Yeah.
I suppose because like this community continuously goes into like music of last century, more so than the later half of 2000 onwards. It's generally sort of 90s, 80s, 70s, isn't it? In that sort of area, maybe some 60s. You know, a lot of these musicians now are sort of 70s, 80s, aren't they? You know, exactly. they're all creeping up in age, and it's the same with movies of that era as well. They're all getting older, aren't they? You know, Harrison Ford, for example, and others. Eastwood, yeah, as well. He's still making movies, Eastwood.
Well, he's working still, isn't he? He's more on directing.
He's lived a very healthy lifestyle, like with diets and this kind of thing. I think is the reason why he's held on as he has. But
I mean, we've got to think about it. Like Richard and I, we're the same age, and we're getting older. So the people we listen to have got to, you know, we forget that sometimes, though, Richard, don't we? That our heroes are at their autumn years.
Exactly. I'm 58. You're 50. Well, you're coming 58. And you know, whenever Mick Jagger was jumping around at 58, we thought, "Oh man, you're far too old for this. Carry on." But you know, he's doing it at 80. But the way I look at it is, if you cast your mind back to 1984, Ian, and I'm sure you remember quite a lot about 1984.
Yeah,
that was 40 years ago from today. Okay, and at times it feels like yesterday. However, if you put your mind into 1984, 40 years before it, you were still in the Second World War. That was 1944.
Yeah.
And you think
I remember the 40th anniversary for D-Day.
That's an eternity, really. That's a completely different age, really, for us. But those 40 years after seems like no time at all.
Yeah, I mean, 1984, I was at Milton Keynes Bowl, bopping away to Status Quo on the End of the Road tour.
Yeah, that's them finishing supposedly.
That's totally. And then 2 years later, I was at Nebworth saying goodbye to Freddie.
Yeah, I know.
And going into 1984, seeing Iron Maiden at Birmingham and being near enough crushed. I wouldn't want to do it now. Well, I wouldn't want to even be at Nebworth Park. I mean, 120,000 people at Nebworth Park saw Queen.
Yeah, I know.
It
Well, you wouldn't
scares
want
me to look at them crowds.
Oh, you're too old. I'm too old as well. That's what I was saying. Was it last night with the concert? Was it sit down? Because I wouldn't go to stand-up concert now.
I'll pay for it Saturday morning. So when we do our thing Saturday morning, I'll be on. But luckily, we want to do at 12, so at least I'll get an extra hour in bed. So
Yeah,
where's the record fair then?
It's in my hometown. It's the same one that comes around all the time.
Oh.
And although my friend Johnny, who had the record shop, he's going to be selling it at this time. So I said I would go down anyway. Now, it's actually in a town 8 miles away tomorrow as well. It's just daft having them in two towns so close to each other. Oh, my God, what's happened to me? I've frozen.
You're frozen, but we can still hear you.
Still hear you.
Oh, right, because I looked as if I was on the toilet there. But
You're back live anyway.
Yeah, so I might go to this one tomorrow as well, and then go down that one. But
yeah, when you were saying you was at Belfast International Airport, I've always had a thing that it should never be called Belfast International Airport.
I know, I agree. It should be called Antrim International Airport because it's not in Belfast, it's in Antrim.
Dylan as well is another one who's pretty old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's about, what age is he now? He was 50 in 1992, which makes him, he's 84.
Yeah, it's a bit like Dave Brock of Hawkwind. I mean, he's 82 and he's currently on tour with Hawkwind.
Well, Ringo Starr's 84 and he goes on tour.
He's a young 80 though, isn't he, Starr?
He is, but if you actually look at him up close, if he takes his glasses off, he's old looking.
I mean, Deep Purple have just released their new single. We've got a new album coming out. AC/DC are going on tour.
Oh, God.
But do I want to see a grey-haired, long-haired man in a school uniform?
I know, it's ridiculous it is.
I love AC/DC, as you know.
I would, because it'd be probably the last opportunity I'd probably get to see him.
Yeah.
The one, although she's not that old, I think she's in her early to mid 60s. Madonna, she has completely destroyed herself.
Oh yeah, she has. Yeah,
she's unrecognizable. She's joined that club where all these that have the work done on their face look exactly the same.
And she's like alien-like, isn't she?
She looks like the bride of Chucky, doesn't she? If she stands too close to a fire, she'd melt.
Exactly.
I'll tell you how she'd go. Like in the RoboCop movie, when that baddie in the first one falls in that toxic waste. That's how Madonna would go. She's too near to the fire. Help me!
If she had aged gracefully, well, even slightly disgracefully.
I don't know why they just don't. I think they're far better off aging gracefully than all that cosmetic surgery.
I agree with you. Because I remember whenever, what was the song? The Ray of Light one of Frozen came out, and she did visibly look a little bit older, and that was about the late 90s. I thought she was still gorgeous, even though she did look older than obviously 10 years previous. But now, I don't know.
You take Carole King. In a day, she was absolutely gorgeous. She's
Yeah,
what,
she was.
80 something? She's
still
grown old.
gorgeous.
She's
She's still
grown old gravest. ABBA, both Agneta and Frida, they've grown old gracefully.
Mm.
And they're still attractive ladies of that age. Why mess about? It's like blokes that mess about.
I know. Look at how Simon Cowell looks now.
I know, dreadful. I know.
Awful, isn't it?
I mean, how old is he? I don't think he's old as us, is he? So,
Oh, yes, older than us. He's in his 60s.
Is he really?
Oh, yes,
I mean, he has to wear them shaded glasses now on stage because when he's on that whatever Britain's Got Talent.
Another one I think's destroyed herself, and I thought was absolutely stunning, is Nicole Kidman.
Oh, really?
I think she looks terrible now.
I haven't seen her
Oh,
recently, in photographs or whatever.
I think the one that really upset me was Leslie Ash.
oh, the lips.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
They're up to nearly over her nose. She was gorgeous, especially in Quadrophenia.
She was.
Tell you someone who's really aged. Pierce Brosnan. You've seen him now recently.
Yeah.
He looks like an old man now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jude Law as well. He looks like an older man now, compared to how he did 10, 20 years ago.
The Sherlock Holmes series in the 80s with Jeremy Brett featured a young Jude Law in one of them, and he must have been about 16 or 17 years old. So he must be hitting 60 now.
He is, yeah. I think we forget their ages, don't we? We see the movies and stuff often on repeat as the years go by, and we kind of have that in our minds.
That's it.
Realise, 10, 20 years has passed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I agree.
And, I was watching a thing on it was on YouTube, but they had a Breakfast Club reunion.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and they've all aged well. I think they've all aged well, and they still got a bit of sparkle to them.
I like the freaky girl in that, and I can't remember her name. The black-haired girl. She was dressed in black. I know her name if you say it, but I liked her. Molly Ringwald was in that as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she looks well. Wow. I mean, this was a few years ago, but they all look well.
Ian,
and they haven't. They've grown old gracefully.
Thank you, Final Voyage. It's Ali Sheedy. That's the one.
It. Yeah. Yeah, she was great in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
The oddball character, wasn't she?
Yes. No, she was my best. That was a good film, actually. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, I like the guy that played the headmaster. He turned up in one of them parody films, didn't he? Playing the same sort of role. I don't know his name now, but
he must have been struggling for work, man, if he was going to do that.
Yeah.
And take out of his own work.
No, I don't. We do forget, though, don't we? That
we do.
But people say to me that I haven't seen for years, you haven't altered much. And I look at pictures of me in my 20s, and I have altered.
Oh, I have. Yeah. I've seriously altered. I've got twice the size. A third of the hair. And the same bloody record collection.
Yeah. That's what I say. The only thing hasn't changed is my record collection.
I clicked on your Facebook profile actually earlier, Ian, sort of just have a quick look at it and sort of
some of them pictures of me.
Some of your pictures, I think you're about 20 or so in them. I thought, bloody hell, you look young there.
There's a picture of me. One of the pictures is
with a mate.
A Quo concert.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's at Sixfields.
Right.
That was have been 9. Oh, yeah. Late 20s.
Yeah, I would have said you're in your 20s. Yeah. Yeah.
There's even some earlier ones on there, I think. Yeah. I mean, I didn't wear glasses then. I had more hair, and I wasn't grey. But my younger brother,
Sorry.
in our family, if you take
Can't
off,
help going grey. That's like, you know.
yeah, my niece says I look distinguished. But in our family, the men either have a good crop of hair, so I take after my mum's side, but my dad's side, they all have bald patches. And my younger brother, who's 10 years younger than me, is now completely bald, and he looks like Uncle Fester. And I says, why? He says, well, I prefer to look like Uncle Fester than Friar Tuck.
That's fair.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
people are lucky, aren't they? Some
yeah.
not so much.
He said, I even hadn't got enough hair to do a Bobby Charlton over the top.
Oh God! Does anybody, excuse me, do a comb over these days?
I said, I would have disowned you if you'd done that. He says, well, that was the choice. It was either Friar Tuck, Bobby Charlton, or Uncle Fester. And as I like Uncle Fester, I'd go Uncle Fester.
It's not a good look, is it? Like when you grow long hair over bald head.
Especially if you're combing it from the back of your neck.
You just
right?
might as well just accept it and just cut it back to nothing, isn't it, really? And just
That's
go
what
with it.
cracks me up. There's people that, if we're going the King Billy, that I've known 40 odd years, and they're still trying to have the same haircut as they did then. So you've got these grey men on top, thinning with a little ponytail, and it just looks. Cut it off. Francis cut it off when he's with his little ponytail. Cut it off.
Well, Francis actually, his ponytail was his long hair that he just actually put in a ponytail.
Yeah.
But because he was going bald up here, you know, and he sort of tried to make it look like a 50s look and then a ponytail, and then he ended up cutting it off because he looked stupid.
I mean, when I saw him on his chat thing, he is very thin on the top.
Oh, he's hardly anything at all. He's bald.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and he's lost weight. I did notice that. He's a lot thinner than
Well,
he
he always was thin, but I think he's fitting off that boy.
He's still very, very fit. People might take the mickey out of him and say that he should stop, but I mean, he doesn't do it for the money. I think he does it because he loves it.
Yeah. Well, they say if you stop, that's whenever you're on the downhill slope. It's like when people retire. That's when they're on the downhill slope. Their work keeps them going. You know,
yeah, I mean, when I worked on the railway, I went to so many retirement parties, and within 12 months, I was at their wakes.
Yeah, I went at work where they died within the year. Retirement. All of a sudden. Yeah.
Like, it is a shock to the system to a lot of people that have worked all their life, and then whenever they've nothing to get up for in the morning, depression comes in, and depression's a killer.
Yeah. Depression. Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Yeah, retired.
I remember whenever COVID happened, Ian. Now there's this girl from America, not Ian, sorry, Simon, that you were subscribed to her. I can't remember her name, but she did a video on the very first day of lockdown, whenever she was sent home from her job, and she was yo. A day later, she did another video, spinning around, going on her chair, going, "Oh, this is dreadful. What do you call her? You know who she is.
Say it again.
There's a girl in America who's doing videos, and I can't remember her name. Now, you had mentioned her before in some of your videos. You'd given her shout outs.
Right.
And whenever lockdown came, and you know the way a lot of people were sent home from their work on furlough or whatever they call it in America.
Yeah.
Everybody was, I'm off work. But within a day, she made another video sort of showing how depressing it is to be off work stuck in the house with nothing to do
Ah,
because what
Miranda, is it?
Miranda, you got it. Yes, Miranda. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever happened?
yeah. I don't know. Just
I thought she was a nice girl. I liked her.
yeah. I thought she was a nice girl. Yeah. I don't know. There was another girl actually before I started doing videos. She was a YouTuber and she just disappeared. And she was American and she was very much into Tom Petty, Clapton, and all sorts of stuff. And she just vanished. She just disappeared, and I can't remember what she was called. No one ever talks about her or anything,
And she
you know.
took her channel down completely.
Yeah. It's just I've never in the I don't know 5 years I've been on YouTube. I've never come across her, and I would have done by now, you know. So she's just gone. I think she was done for copyright because she had a load of like concert videos in her channel. She had loads of them, and I reckon she got done. And
I know who you mean. I know who you mean.
she was a young
She
girl.
Yes, and she actually showed a lot of records, but the later ones were concerts.
Yeah, that's right. And she
Yes.
she sort of completely dismissed the 80s, like the whole synth thing.
Yeah.
Don't do that. She's very much into bands, you know, and she turned me on to a lot of like
yes,
you know, Tom Petty and rest of them and stuff. You
she
know?
was in her early 20s.
She would have been. Yeah.
I know I watched her well before I started.
It would have been about 2016. I was watching some of her videos because that's about the time I was sort of started to get back into vinyl.
Yeah.
But a year or two passed, you know, and I tried to sort of rewatch some of those previous videos and couldn't find them, you know, because I think.
Did she have like I know who you mean, but I can't think of the name. But was there like an Irish sounding name?
I cannot remember the name.
She was American.
She was American.
Yeah.
I know. But this is sort of before the time I became a YouTuber, so I didn't really note down the name as such. You know, I just sort of casually was watching videos. And then when I became a YouTuber, obviously I was sort of a bit more sort of aware of who's who. But you know, it was sort of before then. You know, but
was it somebody Devlin? Was it?
I don't know.
I know who it is, but I can't get the name. Useless with name.
If anyone can tell me, let me know.
He'll bug him now. He'll be bugging him.
I think she did have short brown curly hair.
She had brown hair, yeah. I can't remember it was curly.
Astro Zombie said she made brilliant videos.
She was a young girl with short brown curly hair. She made brilliant videos. Could be her. Could have been her. Yeah. Going back like 10 years now.
I'm off. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Enjoy the rest of your stream.
Will do.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see you soon, Richard.
See you now.
Yeah. Do you know my channel's 3 years old in a fortnight?
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh. It seemed like 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I think when you do retire, as someone that has retired, if you keep your brain occupied, like I do with my channel, you're fine.
Yeah.
You've got to find something. I mean, with my late mate Lee, he's retired as well. And he's got a full program. He's doing, you know, they said the best thing about it is he's not getting out of bed to scrape the car on a frosty morning.
Yeah, I can remember like when my dad was of retirement age, he was still semi-retired. So he was still doing stuff, you know, for a good maybe 10, 15 years before he just completely stopped altogether, you know, sort of in his 70s. late 70s.
Yeah, I mean, my dad, he started making his own albums because he's a guitar player. He'd just sit and make albums.
Yeah.
Churned it out, He'd do, like shadow style sort of thing, And I think that's the thing is, if you shut down and don't do nothing and just sit in the chair and vegetate, that's when your problems start.
Yeah. It is, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. You have to be doing something, whether it's like physical or whatever,
No, I think people sometimes, we make these videos, but they don't realise you have to. Your cog's got to keep turning.
Your mind's got to be thinking about.
Yeah, what am I doing next? What other ideas? What can I do? It's like that. The live stream, we've run out of years. I knew we was going to run out, so I said, "Come on, think of something." And I kept thinking, and then I've come up with this.
Well, you could have got another 10 weeks if you'd done the 90s per year, couldn't you?
Yeah, could have done, but I'd have shown nothing.
Oh, you would have come up with something, surely.
That was my last. What I showed yesterday was my last vinyl I ever brought up until I started buying vinyl again.
All right.
Yes. So, I mean, I could have done a PowerPoint, very hip and trendy, but that's not exciting.
No.
Yeah, a man that's nearly 58 can do PowerPoint presentations.
So you wanted to wrap it up in one live?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's a good idea, the spin the wheel thing. That was
inspirations.
Will you remove, like, once one has been
done?
the
live album's already got. Pulsar's come up with some good ones already.
All right.
So I'm going to add them.
It's going to be like your list of bands, isn't it? It's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to sort of be weeding them down. It's going to keep expanding.
What's Michael? Michael, what are you going on about, mate? Put a bug in your ear. Oh, someone did. Yes, sorry. I'm a little bit on senior moment. Yes, Michael sort of was saying the same thing as well. We're going to run out of years. he wrote in and I went, "Yep, I think I've got something."
You'll be all right now. You got all these other.
Yeah, that this will just run, and I think it's nice to get the gallery involved as well, isn't it? A bit more, and get them to challenge the panelists.
Yeah.
It's like your question thing you can do. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. I just going to give it 1 or 2 more weeks yet until I put something together.
Yeah, I'll do. Once I've got about 3 or 4 questions, I will send you nearer the time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think Richard said he's gonna come up with a question and let me know. So I'll sort of hang on for a little while yet. So I mean, I've compiled a good 12 questions already. So
well, that'll be a lot of fun, won't it?
Yeah, I think so, because I think it's a nice kind of balance. The questions they're not going to be easy to answer, but shouldn't be too difficult either. So,
but it's going to make us
put you on the spot a little bit. And
yeah, I like that. It's nice that is sometimes to be put on the spot.
Yeah, so we'll talk about a few things which are maybe a little bit uncomfortable, just a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know one of my questions is about comments and how you react to them, and like I did today. If it had been any other video, I think I would have just bothered. But when you put up a tribute to someone that, it's a bit too much, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't do that on. Yeah, I put it on TikTok and they blocked it.
Really?
because of that stupid thing. I called them. I says, I'll put on the comments, TikTok, you're a disgrace. I says, it's a tribute to an artist and you go and block it. And then in another message, those of you who want to watch it, put the link into my YouTube because they haven't blocked it. I'm half expecting a from TikTok.
Yeah.
But I think they've had a problem with the copyright thing because a lot of people are having the same trouble on TikTok.
Right. Right. I find like I've put something on Facebook before, and that's just been completely dismissed. You know, as if it was on YouTube, it would have been sort of okay. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes YouTube get on a bit thin, but on the whole, you know, their shorts policy works brilliantly, doesn't it? You know, it doesn't. The only thing that gets banned is the only thing they block are things like the Eagles.
Oh,
Good.
hello.
Hello.
Can I apologise? I forgot that you put that bug in my ear. I think I had a senior moment, Michael.
You did. I have to keep you honest, Ian. But that's okay. So I was thinking, you know, two things. One, it was I like to call it the Walker prophecy. Okay, the Rob Walker prophecy. Okay, because he knew what types of collections we had, you know, and you know, so the prophecy started to come to light. But then we got to think about it. In your wheel, I looked at it afterwards and I thought, that's a vinyl tag. It's a weekly vinyl tag. What we're setting up here, what you're setting up here, okay? And it's good. And what I like about it is like it speeds things up because we're going to do a weekly vinyl tag. Some are going to be like off the charts, some are going to bomb, but who cares, right? I mean, some people have got a lot of live albums, some people don't. But I like the suggestion that you got from that fellow whose name I forget, who emailed you. Right.
Yeah.
You know, black and white. I was like, that's vinyl tag, right?
Yeah.
It's what we all do all the time. So, you know, pick a record from your first date. Pick a record from, pick a record you played when you got fired from a job that you loved and you were pissed off, you know? Could be one record, could be a few records, you know?
Yes.
And
I'd
I
love to
think
do
people are going to love it.
Yeah, songs to go in.
Yeah, you got all like the variations of coloured vinyl and you know all sorts of things, haven't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and to make it so it's not like I'm doing it, Rocky's Wheel of Fortune is just perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's going to work.
I
think you need to refresh. Huh?
I think I did do a live video or tag years ago. You know, I could. Can't I just show you the video? Take a
I believe it.
Yeah,
After
and
seeing
as I said to Simon Michael, it gets the gallery involved and more.
Yeah,
and they challenging the panelists.
Right. Even if they don't come up with a camera, they're still thinking about categories to do, which is perfect.
Yeah, this will run for a little while. So
I think so.
So great minds fight. I knew we weren't going to run out of it. We would have an idea.
Yeah. Well, this is like idea of ideas because it's an idea to create ideas.
This isn't gonna. You're not gonna whittle down to like a few things. It's gonna keep growing and growing.
Yeah,
I think so.
We'll never like get it down, will we? It's just
it'll be
a new idea
thing, which I think is fabulous, and it sets us as panelists a challenge. You've got a week to find something for next week.
I already have my records. I picked them out already. Picked them out already.
And you see, I've always been showing like movies from years. I've found some live DVDs that I can show in my little segment as well. So it's just an ongoing thing, and it doesn't matter what you show, DVDs, videos, music, as long as it's something you go, this is live. This is what I like.
Right.
So
mix and match and do what you want, can't you?
And I've looked into Stevie's birthday, and I can understand why he wants numbers 21 to 16 in his birthday top 10.
Okay.
Yes. Well, there's a Who song, of course.
Okay.
And then there's a French. I won't go too much into it, but I can understand why he wants that one. And then there's bits. I'm not going to spoil it, but I understand where he was coming from. So we've sorted that.
This is just a showcase of 10. It's not a top 10 as such, is it?
Up to 10.
Up to
Up
10.
to
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Up to 10.
Yeah. Well, 10's always been the sort of number, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
11's allowed if you've got one that you definitely want to show.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, a live album you assume is something done in an audience, in front of an audience. But there are live albums they're on sound stages, or there are live albums that are recorded in front of a studio audience where there's no applause.
Yeah, I did that. A classic example today. I did Mostly Autumn. And one of their latest live album was recorded at Studio 2 of Abbey Road with no audience.
Right.
But they're playing live.
Right.
And you think, is it a live album? But no, if they're doing it live in the studio, it is a live recording. There's no technical stuff. And like the live at the BBC, a lot of them sessions, they're not in front of an audience. The only audience is the radio audience.
Right. I get it.
Yeah, so it is live.
Yep. So there'll be some hair splitting, I'm sure.
Yes. But that's for those that are watching this that will say that's what it'll be. If it's recorded live, not done the normal way of recording.
Yes.
Peter Frampton will be coming out of the collection.
That was a big selling record, boy.
Yeah.
That was mega.
Yeah.
It's one of the finest live albums, I think. And I think a lot of them songs on there are better live than actually on his studio albums.
Too bad I don't have Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore. That's classic. Or Humble Pie's live record. What was that? That's a great record.
I think any album recorded at Fillmore's great.
Wings live, isn't there?
There's Wings live. Big Brother and the Holding Company's a live record with Janis Joplin.
Yeah, but the Allman Brothers at Fillmore is just.
Slade have got a lot of live stuff as well, haven't they?
Oh, yes.
You could show 10 Slade live albums alone, wouldn't you?
Oh, no, there's one way of doing it. You just show a little CD box of photos that I've got.
He's done a lot of live stuff. Got a lot of live albums of
Genesis. They've made some good live albums.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot. I think we're going to have a good variation. And I think there'll be a few surprises in there as well. I think one of the ones that I'm going to put on the wheel that Paul Sarr suggested, albums that you think no one else has got.
I think Walker worked that into a vinyl tag.
Yeah,
he did.
It's a good one though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good one. Yeah, albums that you think are so special that you don't think anybody else has.
And I've got one or two of them.
And you're always wrong because somebody says, "Oh, I have that."
Yeah. Yeah.
I might just focus on the one artist and just have all live stuff.
Oh, that's another.
That's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you have to have it.
Yeah, I think it keeps as us retired people go, we need something to keep our calm. You see, Michael say the same. If you keep your brain active, you stay healthy and a positive mind.
Yes.
And hopefully without prejudice.
Without prejudice.
Yes.
You like that, huh?
Yeah. Anyone thinking what we're talking about, that was a theme from last night's live stream. Everybody got. And we had a super conversation afterwards, which sort of was linked to that. And I think it was quite fun. Yeah.
Evidently, our American friend is going to be going live today. I haven't even had a chance to get in contact with him, and he's queued up for a new one.
All right.
A few days off, but
right.
Okay. Sorry.
In the lap of the gods. Now, can I say that?
Yes,
Martin. If you're talking about the Queen's song, like in the lap of the gods, the second part, I've actually sang that with Queen at Nebworth Park, and it's magnificent. Having the whole crowd going, whoa, la, 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 whoa. Because he went off mic and the crowd just took over. So it does have it. Singing that live is just gets you there.
Has Martin ever gone on camera on a live stream?
I don't know. Martin McGrath. I don't know. I've only known him to pop in.
I think so.
He's a typing fiend. He writes so well in a gallery. It's amazing.
He does.
He's got good grammar, good penmanship, good sentence structure, and he writes so much. He does.
Martin, I'll tell you what,
good.
when I saw Freddie, he had everyone there in his palm.
Just gonna make a pot of coffee. Don't let me keep you.
And now this is a guide of Japan and Michael's coffee.
I've got to get myself a tea if Michael's getting a coffee.
So I'm left holding the phone. Right,
You are indeed.
That's usually, it's a good job we're used to doing this sort of thing, isn't it, really?
Oh, you're a professional, Ian.
I've never been professional at anything. Oh, that's a lie. Yes, I'll just talk about Freddie Mercury. He was just a great showman. Another person that could control the crowd was Meatloaf. Meatloaf was incredible.
Yeah.
Who else? I think as Fish from Marillion. He commanded the. Phil Collins was a great front man. Peter Gabriel
was an excellent front man. He did mime. He used mime in the early days.
Yes.
You know, he was very physical on stage.
I watched concerts of, I think it was done in 72.
Yeah.
I've never seen them at that peak. And he comes out and with the bats for Watchers of the Skies. It's just incredible to watch.
Yeah, that was the Foxtrot tour. I saw all three tours. And in the Foxtrot tour, the stage was all white and they used black lights for their lighting. You know, like in a psychedelic shop.
Is that like the cover of Genesis Live?
Same, it's exactly what the stage was like.
Fantastic. They've always had a good stage show, haven't they? So
yeah. Well, that one was a very simple one. Lamb was a very complicated one because Lamb had three projectors in back of the stage, kind of like the way they did the film Woodstock. Remember the film Woodstock with 3 frames? That's how they did Lamb.
Yes, Tony Banks was never happy on that tour, was he?
No. Well, that was kind of a fucked up production, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, because he was on his way. Gabriel was on his way out, and he was distracted by William Friedkin working on that movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Lamb should have been. Everybody hates me when I say this, but Lamb would have been a better record as a single record.
I say that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm choosing my favourite side on Monday of the Lamb, which is a very difficult one. I think that was either Mick or Pulsar's idea. Yeah, they like challenging me. But when they brought out that Archives Volume 1, and there's that live recording of the Lamb, the rumor has it that Peter went and recorded the vocals again because of the costumes.
Well, yeah, I mean, Slipperman, how do you sing in an outfit like that? I mean, you could barely see his face when he was in that costume, and there were a lot of obstructions to singing with all the costume changes on the Lamb show. Yeah,
I think a lot of the band, when Peter left, I think they were sort of sad but relieved.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Trick of the Tail was a simple, you didn't have costumes for Trick of the Tail.
No.
So it was just the band themselves, right?
Yeah, I think my favourite Peter Gabriel was the old man at the closing section of Musical Box.
Yeah. That was just amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And I'll tell you, I mean, nobody ever praises it as a song. It's like their favorite song on Lamb. But for me, it gives me goosebumps every time. The closing song. Yeah.
Brilliant piece. See,
Yeah.
I like the fly. I like the fly on the windshield. I think and the Lamia. That's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
You'll find out how I've had to deduct how to get my best side, because I'll give you a story. I don't think there's a proper perfect side on any of them.
Of that record, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely each side has got a few dogs.
Yeah.
Or just does.
I think that could be an idea for a video, putting together the best version of the Lamb.
That would be a great idea.
That's something.
You have two sides of an LP to choose the best songs of Lamb and not make it sound like a greatest hits of the record. What would you put together to make that great record?
I know you don't do many videos, Michael, but I think that's something that me and you should do at some stage.
Sure. I mean, I'm definitely a bit of an expert of that period, because I was a super fan. But
I think it's something we should look into.
Sure.
And I might think of someone else that might be interested in that.
Okay.
Yes, who now resides in Germany.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, she did that on one of her albums of the prog 365 Days of Prog, didn't she? That album was her last one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There was a discussion. She had people talking about that. But I think, come up with the definitive version of The Lamb Lies on Broadway. You heard it first, folks.
The album, the single record that in your opinion should have been made, what would be definitive?
Yeah, I did a similar thing when I did. I think this classic album I did Double Fantasy, but in the playlist I put up the perfect Double Fantasy, and I took tracks off the last album to make up what I considered would have been a better album, because Double Fantasy has got some rubbish on it.
Yeah. Lots of records do.
Yeah. And because of Yoko. And I know there's a lot of people in there, Yoko. Yeah. At least Linda McCartney could play the keyboards.
Yes.
She could write.
And photograph.
And do some nice backing vocals where necessary.
And wear a nice mullet. Did you guys invent the mullet? Did the British invent the mullet?
I think we did, didn't we?
So yeah.
Thank you so much.
You met one of the worst ones. Remember Pat Sharp, Simon, the DJ?
I think I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bad one. So did Chris Waddle, didn't he?
Waddle, yeah. Hoddle and Waddle.
Hoddle the total of. I never had a mullet.
That's good.
Yeah, Waddle was a proper mullet, wasn't it? Like.
Yeah, that's why I missed that penalty, I'm sure, in 1990 because of his mullet.
Yeah, short front hair and long back hair, isn't it?
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, it was a big in some of the rock bands. I had bad mullets. The drummer of Kansas. He had a terrible mullet.
Mullet. Like the word though, mullet.
Yeah, it's a great word, isn't it? What makes me laugh? People would go to the hairdressers and ask for it.
The mullet.
Mullets and mutton chops are pretty much like the worst cosmetic inventions of the early 70s.
Terrible haircuts.
Yeah, I don't think they're making a comeback, will they? Can't see it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to be watching over the weekend.
Yes.
On Paramount, there's the new Bon Jovi documentary.
Okay.
Thank You and Good Night. And apparently, he says in an interview on TV, it's not one of these, oh, everything's brilliant, wonderful. It's warts and all. It's all the horrible stuff. It's in your face as well. It's about Richie Sambora and why he left the band. That's going to be all in there. But there's apparently, said, whatever people say, me and Richie have never fallen out. We're still friends. They actually watched it together with popcorn.
I think you know more about some American acts than Americans themselves.
I think you do.
It's amazing. I mean, you know more about Bon Jovi than I do.
Yeah. Well, I was the person that said when they supported Kiss on their first tour of UK, these are a bit useful.
George Borden's a huge Kiss fan.
Very popular, weren't they? But popular in their own state.
I like Kiss. I saw Kiss twice without makeup.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them on their Crazy Nights tour. They played some at the NEC, and I saw them in the summer at Donington. Monsters of Rock. They were the special guests of Iron Maiden. Great show. Absolutely great show. I really enjoyed it, but
yes, what's the but?
If it weren't for the spectacular show, they'd be pretty ordinary.
Yeah, I think they are, in my opinion. I've got a couple of their compilations, but I can't seem to get into the hits of theirs. I just don't feel to me.
I had on CD most of the 70s Kiss, but the best albums are the live albums. See, Kiss Alive
better than the studio albums.
Kiss Alive is the definitive of them first three albums to me.
So like a Kiss studio album, you don't put it on the turntable and close your eyes and listen and take in the sonic brilliance of their performance, huh? Yeah, and that's why a lot of rock stuff I'm kind of bored with these days. It just didn't age well with me.
That's one of them.
Yeah. So if you're a part time, that's all you need. It's got all the.
Yeah, that's probably all what I really need. But I've got a couple of others as well. But I like these 20th Century Masters ones they did.
Yeah.
In the States.
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
They're quite good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I've got this Kiss World, the best of Kiss. I got more than what I need, really, of compilations. Kiss.
When do you reckon was the last time you listened to Kiss, Simon?
A year or two ago, probably.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
I think the last time I listened to Kiss was when I ranked Kiss. And that's honest, I haven't listened to them for ages. I mean, they ruined Argent's God gave rock and roll to it. They also ruined Then She Kissed Me. I did listen to some Kiss when I did 20 bad Kiss songs.
There's a band I've returned back to after a bit of a break. The Kinks.
Yeah. Timeless.
Yeah, I just kind of forgotten how good they were.
Right.
Hearing these songs.
Yeah, I would say they were the first real heavy rock band.
Waterloo Sunset is just a lovely song, isn't it? Sunny
afternoon. The Lola record, Muswell Hillbillies.
Some great, and how they got the fuzzy guitar was just by slitting the.
What I sort of got from going back to listen to the Kinks again is the sarcasm in the lyrics, and there's a hell of a lot of it, isn't there? There's a lot of this kind of sarcasm and sort of like almost rebellion at like snobbery and plastic people, like Plastic Man, the song Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of kind of like messages within the music.
I mean, you take Tears of a Clown. That is sticking the. It's a very poignant song of the '60s. Lots going on. The establishment, the snobbery was there, and I think if people that my dad used to say about the Kinks, they were saying what everybody was thinking.
They were, yeah, it was.
Did the Kinks write Tears of a Clown, or did Smokey Robinson?
No,
Smokey Robinson.
No, it's just no. Well, it's Tears of a Clown. It's not a Kinks song. I think it's a Ray Davies song, but that it's a.
They're two separate songs, though, aren't they? Two completely different.
Yeah, two different songs. Yeah.
Okay, same title, but different lyric content.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
I tell you, an album I didn't realise I'd released one. You remember the Zootons?
Yeah, the Zootons. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a new album out.
Have they?
Yeah, called The Big Decider.
Well, that must be going for a while.
Yeah, it came out a couple of weeks ago. I didn't realise.
Yeah.
I mean, they were my sort of guilty pleasure. One of my new band guilty pleasures.
Yeah, there's a few albums. When we done that 90s live stream, I really wanted a copy of the Sundays because they had a 90s hit in 1990, and I think it made top 5. And I forgot how good the Sundays were. They had some really good hits. I really would like to grab some of their albums. I think they only released 3. So
yeah, I'm sure. I'm no sorry, the Zootons. It's called The Big Decider. Go and check it out.
I've got one Zootons.
Yeah, it's got some great saxophone work from Abbey on it. Dave McCabe sounds great still.
Are they indie? They are indie, aren't they?
They're an indie band, yeah. Well, they go down in the book as indie, I think.
Yeah.
An indie band that came from Liverpool and not Manchester.
Yeah. They're normally Manchester, aren't they?
Yeah, they came, there was around, that sort of thing. But that was the oddity, wasn't it? The Zootons were from Liverpool and not Manchester. But they are a really good listen.
I like China Crisis as well. They're a Liverpool band.
They made some good songs.
They have.
Although I haven't got a lot of 90s, I did like, there was the odd 1 or 2 bits of the 90s. I think if I could find like one of them Now albums, now this is the 90s. If I could find, a compilation like that, I'd pick that up on CD because there are some.
I've got loads of compilations of 90s and stuff.
Yeah, they do like top radio hits of the 90s. Typically, I see those all the times in the stores here.
Yeah, they're quite common.
Every decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the Now are doing Lee was saying there's someone called Now That's 1974.
They're doing like a 10-year thing as well from like I think it's in 3s or I think it starts off with like 83 or 84 and it goes into like 93 or 94 like in 10s,
Yeah. Well, the first Now album actually came out in 1983, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
Because Mama Genesis is on that.
Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't cover the whole 80s because there's a lot of good early stuff, wasn't there, which obviously didn't make the later compilations. I think kind of like those early 80s tunes was kind of like the sweet spot of the 80s, weren't they? Very early, sort of.
Yeah, Robert Smith's about Albert Einstein, not much Phil Spector. But talking of Einstein, I used to like Einstein A Go-Go by Landscape.
Don't know it.
Nice.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, there's a line in it. Better watch out, better be quiet. Albert said that E equals MC squared was one of the lyrics from that song. They didn't last long. And another album from I think the 80s that sort of was a defining one, and that was the Plastic Age, the Buggles.
The Buggles.
The Buggles, yeah. It's the album that Rip Video killed the radio stars on.
Mm.
Very distinct sound.
They made a later album, didn't they? Sort of come out in the 2000s, didn't they? No, I'm getting confused. I'm thinking of the Bangles.
The Bangles.
Yeah.
The Buggles brought out 2 albums. One was good, one wasn't. But then Trevor said, right, I'm going to be producer, and the rest is history.
I did pick up a few CDs today.
Let's see.
Our lovely English pauses there, which I know Michael adores.
I do. They drive the Americans crazy. They want to fill them up. With...
Yeah, it's got to be packed, hasn't it? Packed with noise. I picked up a Blue Note on CD. I showed this a bit earlier. New Perspective.
That's nice. Ooh, and that's a Jaguar.
Yeah.
Beautiful car. Nice shot.
Yeah, and there's even the CD that's... it's actually in my CD player at the moment. I have to get it out. One sec.
Donald Byrd played what?
Donald Byrd, Band and Voices, it's called.
What was his instrument?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. Just thought, that was a bit unique and a bit cool. You don't normally sort of see those sort of things in charity shops.
You know, a few good jazz records are always lovely to have. Just don't need to drown in them. That's all.
No. But you can pick up a few nice pieces here and there, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
On a budget.
Yes.
Wandy.
What hits are on that? Refresh my memory.
We got.
Is that a greatest hits?
The best of.
Yeah.
Atomic is the first track. Heart of Glass, Sunday Girl, Call Me, The Tide is High, Denise, Dreaming, Rapture, Hanging on the Telephone, I'm Always Touched by Your Presence, Dear, Island of Lost Souls, Picture This, Union City Blue,
Love that song.
Yes,
War
right.
Child, Rip Her to Shreds, One Way or Another, Ex-Offender, I'm Gonna Love You Too, Fade Away, and Radiate. Bonus tracks is Atomic 98 remix, another remix of the Atomic.
Remix of the remix.
Yeah, so pretty nice little package, actually.
The most beautifully photogenic woman in rock and roll history.
It's a nice cover of that, isn't it? I think that's I thought that was rather nice. And I picked up a Passenger album, which I didn't have as well.
Not familiar with them. Is that prog?
I'm not sure if it's indie or pop. One of the two.
Indie pop.
Yeah.
I'd say indie with a poppy tinge.
It's certainly a bit of both, I think. Let Her Go, I think, was the hit of this album.
That was a good. That was
what time frame is it? 2000s.
2012.
Got it. I'll look them up.
Nice song actually. Let Her Go. For a pound, can't really.
You cannot pass it up for a pound.
You can't.
But you are a budget. You're a man of my heart. You're a good. You are fiscally sound.
Well, I've ordered an album today. I had it, I lost it, and I wanted it. And it was on eBay. A Japanese rock band.
Okay, what's the name of it? Probably haven't heard.
They were called Bow Wow. Then they went to Vow Wow, and now they're Bow Wow.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, Very popular band.
Yeah, I've seen them live twice.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, and at the time, remember Neil Murray from Whitesnake?
Yeah. He
was
plays
in
drums
the
with them?
band. He played bass with them. The thing is, all the other guys are about 5'3", and Neil Murray is 6'3".
Yeah.
How
I've
many?
had many. Yeah.
How many Japanese records do you have in your collection, Michael?
Oh, well, pressings at this point is probably the majority now.
Probably the majority.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing like a room tour video and sort of?
Well, my collection's not that big, but yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. I did once before. I did my listening room where I showed that when I was in Okayama, and but yeah, I'll figure something out.
Well, they do very well for views, don't they?
I guess I'm struggling right now to understand what does well for views, because I just posted a video of a punk store, and my views are just horrible, and I think it's an incredibly edited tour of a store, and it's like, I don't get it.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of Brits who like punk. Go and watch Michael's video.
It's called Boy Records. And I got another one after this called Bass Records, and it's another punk store, and it's just as visually fascinating, I mean,
is punk big in Japan?
I don't think so anymore. It was.
Indies
What's big in Japan is the fucking, the boy band shit, the girl band shit, It's, when you go to town, the K-pop and J-pop and, and American music. It's
but
they love
metal, don't they? They still love
metal. They still love metal. Plenty of metal in my new video.
What's their big metal band they got, which has made it sort of global?
I think X and Bow Wow. X was huge.
Loudness were big back in the 80s. They were huge here in the UK and America.
Baby metal, isn't it?
Baby metal. Huge.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a video of Baby Metal and Rob Halford doing Painkiller. And the kids are rocking, I tell you. Yeah, there's some great on YouTube. There's this, I think they're like a local band or an amateur band of 5 Japanese girls playing heavy metal, and they do a great version of Iron Maiden's The Trooper. They really rock, and it's great to see.
There is a band that George Borden loves, all-girl band, and they're currently touring the U.S. They're super popular in the U.S., and they're not popular at all in Japan. So there are a lot of acts like that are focused on the West and have no following whatsoever in Japan.
I mean, I think one of the big girl metal bands now are The Warning.
Say it again. The what?
The Warning. They're from Monterrey in Mexico. They're 3 sisters. They started on YouTube many years ago, and they did a version of Enter the Sandman, Metallica, and now they're touring the world and going to release their 4th album. Now, I don't know if they're big in Japan, but they're selling out wherever they're playing. They're selling out on their current tour.
Did you ever have a dialogue with Jose about them? He lives in Monterey.
No, I never did.
A lot of British bands, popular British bands, are very popular in Japan, aren't they? Such as Beatles, Oasis, Blur, those sort of types, aren't they?
When you walk into a record store in Japan, there's a Ventures section in every store. Ventures and Carpenters and Beatles, huge, deep, like, 30.
Queen is huge. Even the Queen with Adam Lambert, their concert, they are sell out when they go to Japan, and they always sing Toratei to the Japanese. And it's wonderful to hear that. They never play that anywhere else in the world.
We should all do a whip round of money and give it to Michael, and then sort of send him out there to buy whatever he reckons he can get from us. The
A
bank
whip round.
kind of thing, like the best he can do, with like 100
I'm
quid.
telling you, if you should research tickets because it is 156 yen to the dollar right now. It's a 20-year high. So there's so many foreigners here right now at record
There's one
stores.
place I want to go to see a concert, and it's still on my bucket list. I want to go and see a concert at the Budokan.
Yeah.
There's been so many great live albums recorded at the Budokan.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan at the Budokan is one of the most iconic ones, I think. That's a great live album. What else? Ian Gillan and the Budokan, that's another one. And I've live in Japan. Cheap Trick at the Budokan, yeah. Deep Purple have played, some of their, I think some of their Made in Japan was recorded there.
Probably.
Could we show our Japanese pressings to our Wheel of Fortune?
I've only got one. Oh, no, I haven't. I've got two.
Oh, well,
right.
so take that off.
We don't want it, can't he? He can show the other 8 for you.
Yeah. I think I've shown one of them. I haven't shown the other. Yeah, that'd be a good one, Japanese pressings. Well, that could come under the people haven't got. No, but are Deep Purple still big in Japan?
Well, we'll see when this new record comes out. I haven't seen any point of purchase displays. I mean, their records are everywhere. I mean, there's Ian Gillan, all his records are here. I mean,
there's one album he released there before he released it in this country.
They have Ian Gillan sections in record stores. He has his own section in the bins. So, yeah, he's popular. But I mean, not currently with young people, with the older guys. I mean, when I'm in a record store, it's really funny because I'll see like guys in their 50s and 60s, and I see what their taste is. I mean, it's all, it's all based on age. So those records have a market here. Deep Purple, and the Carpenters, and the Ventures still, but those buyers are dying off.
I just amazing the Carpenters.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Adding blind buys. Have a blind buy, either show a blind buy that you hated and a blind buy that you loved, or something like that. Do a variation.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get here in the UK for love of money. The album called Gillan, released in 1978. You can't get it over here. It's so rare. So if you ever see Gillan from 1978, Michael,
okay,
I will pay the earth to get that over here to the UK.
Okay,
that's one I haven't got. I've got every other Gillan album except it's called Gillan, aka the Japanese album.
Tom Petty's debut album, I want it on Japanese. Costs an absolute fortune on the likes of eBay.
What's the name of it?
I'm just writing down Nick's blind buys.
Simon, tell me the name. It's Tom Petty's what?
Debut album. I think it's just self-titled.
Oh, it's not that hard to find.
Epinus or Epinis.
I mean, there's some records that they're just not here. I run into that a lot. I know that George was looking for Sinead O'Connor. I don't think they shipped her records here. There was probably like zero appetite. I don't know why, And what's her name? Nadine. She's been looking for this record, a rare record by The Topics, and if it comes up in Japan, it'll go for $5,000. It'll be listed and will sell for $5,000. It's that rare. So because it's an island, there's a fine, when you've hit something that's really finite in terms of rarity here. It's just really, really obvious. Just ain't here. Do you ever run into that in the UK?
Sometimes, but I don't think not as much as in Japan.
The only way to get it is to bring it from outside your country. And that's the case here as well. The only way. And pay through the nose.
Yeah, I think so.
Huckamar's made a thing. He said, I wish the UK could work out a shipping situation for the US. There's so many wrestlings I want. The shipping is brutal. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
It is brutal.
Discogs makes international shipping a real hard, gives you heartburn, right? I mean, they've made it incredibly difficult. My understanding.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help where we're outside Brexit thing, but
right.
When you're paying,
they've got to come up with a better trade deal.
When you're paying just as much for the postage as the record, then it doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah,
you might have to pay tax on that.
Right.
When you see that.
Are you seeing like records in stores? Did they have like sections in stores they were like where they show rare records like for like the equivalent of like $2,500, $3,000? You seeing
No,
that?
the only place you get that are record fairs here.
Yeah. You don't see that kind of stuff on a wall or anything like that. You might see 100, maybe 200 pound records, but not necessarily much after that.
What about in London? London, are there any fancy?
You might see a few box sets, but
yeah, I don't think in London because I don't think shop owners dare put anything out that rare because it'll get nicked.
Interesting point.
There's so much of that going on in this country where people mobs just go into shops and rip them.
I think what a lot of them do is they just stick them online and that's it. They don't sell them anywhere else. They just go strictly online and you don't see them.
Because if you have it in like a locked glass case, it ties up a store staff and then he gets distracted and then stuff gets stolen out of the store. It just doesn't work.
Not just it being stolen, it can get broken as well, can't it? Or damaged, which will knock off a lot of value, wouldn't it?
But I mean, like one of the shops I use in Northampton, I know the owner quite well, and if you want something, he will get it if he can, and he'll text you, email you, I've got it. You go in, it's all ready. Hand over the money, so no one can see what you're getting. He's put it in the bag already. So because if people know that he's stocking some, some rare stuff, or he got to be careful, doesn't he? He doesn't. It's his business, and
there's
a shame.
There's this record seller in my town a few years back. He's gone and moved now. He might actually be watching. He's actually subscribed to me. But anyway, he had some Eddie Cochran on 45, and that's like rare and it's expensive.
Yeah.
And like I never saw them in the shop, and he just said, I sold some Eddie Cochran on 45, made about over £1,000 on the likes of eBay. And I was like, wow, but never got to see it. It was never displayed, just straight on there, And I think that's what happens.
So I've got a copy of an Eddie Cochran EP. It's got "Come On Everybody," "Summertime Blues" on it. 20 Rock Flight, and I don't know the other one. The one that sounds like "Come On Everybody," but it's the same show. "Let's Get Together." I dread to think how much that's worth.
Record collecting in that kind of like sphere of money, like expensive price, it's a very risky thing to do, because yes, you can acquire it, but can you sell it at least at the same price you paid for it, or even more? And what's the market going to be like in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? We're all working on the assumption that prices are going to keep going up and that there's going to be somebody with an appetite to buy it. But I have a feeling that people who are trying to sell records for $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 sit with them for many months or years before they find a buyer.
I think you might find that some of these artists might just sort of drop off. There'd be like no interest in them. in years to come.
Yes.
You know, and I don't. Obviously, there's no knowing who that might be. But
Because
I
the
think it
demographics
will
and
happen.
I agree. I agree because the demographics and money. I mean, right now the boomers have got the wealth, but that's not going to be the case in 5 years.
So right, that's for Nick. Yes, I'm writing them down.
Uh,
I am writing them down.
you know, I saw Odyssey and Oracle here for like, you know, an original mint copy, $3,000, and it disappeared off the store shelves, and I was really surprised. But somebody who's going to buy Odyssey and Oracle right now has made their money. You know, they're in their 50s or 60s. I'm just talking off the top of my head, and they have the memory and the financial means to acquire stuff like that.
Well, what's going to be value in 30 years' time? What will people be buying?
Right now, punk is fetching huge prices. Will punk be as popular in 30 years? Has a target for acquisition? Will jazz be a target in 30 years for acquisition? Will Taylor Swift be a target for acquisition in 30 years?
I don't think so. Not Taylor Swift. I think
jazz
would be a constant, but someone like Taylor Swift, I don't think. No.
When you take Adam and the Ants, Dirt Wears White Socks, the cheapest I've seen it on Discogs or anywhere is 62 quid. I saw it at a record fair in Northampton for 70. And I said to the guy, you'll never sell that for 70 quid. It's rare. So I said, so's Rocking Horse shit.
I think there's going to be a lot of stuff which is just going to be forgotten about, you know, just no interest. You know, sort of maybe stuff in the 80s, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine Tears for Fears? This is OG Tears for Fears sold for. If they're asking $3,000 for it, whoa! I really want that. You can't get that anywhere.
I've got Queen debut album. That's an OG. Mine's an OG. You know, I don't know how much that's worth these days. Probably peanuts.
Yeah, it's kind of like musical chairs, right? Currently, it's a game of musical chairs. Because I'm just always curious. I'm fascinated by people who build record collections with an eye on value, you know, like adding to that value and putting in records that are, you know, investing. You know, I mean, probably there's some people who have more money in their record collections than they do in their savings accounts and in the stock markets and in real estate, right? And that's very, you know, and some of them are very successful selling them, but it takes real good planning when you do that, right? You can't wait until you're getting sick and dying, right? Right? You can't negotiate very well when you're bedridden, and you can't trust your wife after you're gone to sell them unless you've really worked with them, your family, to sell them.
Records are a real ball ache, aren't they? To store and look after. You know, they really have to have a lot of things in place to keep them, especially in a long haul like that.
Yeah.
You know, people pass away, they go to other people. Are they going to look after them like the previous owners, or will they just?
They all end up in charity shops.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
you can tell where, you know, at the moment, most charity. I don't know what it's like where you are, Simon, but it's all James Last, Ray Conniff.
There is a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
the ventures. It's the same. It's the same. Translate the same way here too. A lot of times I'll be in a store and I'll go through the bins and I'll see records from other stores that are no longer in business because that store acquired the inventory of the store that went out of business.
What makes me laugh? There is one Herb Albert album I want.
Which one?
The Chihuahua Brass.
Best off.
Huh? Was it the Chihuahua Brass?
Yes,
All
I
right,
know.
yeah. I probably
And
had
every
With the whipped
blooming
cream.
all I know, it's got the Spanish flea on it.
The one with the whipped cream and other delights.
Oh, I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. All I know, it's got a trumpet or something on the front, and it's in a gold background. I think that's the Elmore one, and it's got every bloody album except that. Every time I go and find Herb Albert,
you can just buy a compilation. You get a
Yeah.
better.
I just want that album because it was played a lot as a kid.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I see.
I mean, I did pick up when I was up in Leeds. I did pick up the Spotniks in London, which was another album that I had as a kid, and now he's passed on. There's one album my dad had, The Biggest Twang of Dwayne Eddy, the one with the Gretsch on the front, which has got some great tunes on it. It's got a great version of Batman on it. I'd love that one, but I've got it on my iPod because my dad actually transferred it, so I have got a copy of it.
Ian, are you a web searching, record collecting kind of guy? In other words, do you buy records online? And
I do now and again, yeah.
but because you can find that record if you online.
Yeah,
cool.
I'll probably find it on Discogs.
Huh?
Probably find it on Discogs.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. Get anything on there.
Yeah. I mean, I brought that one today, the Valwell, because I did have it, and I don't know where it went. I think it got lost in the move.
You can get addicted to the stuff like on Discogs, so can't you? Once you get started buying on there, and you know what I mean, you can get pulled into to that world.
Yeah, I try and steer clear of that because it become an addiction.
It very easily can. Yeah.
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 It's like my thing is when people buy records to show on their channel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it can be an obsession. Chill out. You'd have to spend thousands.
Yeah. It's like
I did all that when I was a young man and earning. All I had to do was pay my mum my board and lodging, and the rest of the money was mine.
I actively sell what I don't listen to and just use it to buy other records.
yeah, I don't buy for my channel. I just buy what I want to listen to. It just going on.
I don't either. I do all my listening on Spotify for my ranking.
Yeah.
What I meant was I'm a heavy pruner, which is like if I find that I haven't listened to something in like 3 years, and I take it out and I play it, I'm like, this sucks. It's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
There's albums I brought, especially some of the 80s. Like I listened to Recycler because I thought, oh, why did I buy this? Because it's not a very good ZZ Top album.
That's not a bad way to be, Michael, though, is it? I mean, at least like you're on top of a constant culling. Cutting back on.
I'm a constant culling guy. I really am.
A lot of people sort of accumulate this mass collection, and then they act upon it.
There'll be a moment.
Wait, you move.
Cull it. I think I'd like to be a pruner, but I just couldn't do it. I don't think it's a bit too ruthless.
Really?
Yeah. It's a bit ruthless.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already sort of getting rid of a load of DVDs I've ripped to my computer now. So like, once they're out the way, I'll be working on the CDs.
Well, there you go. So you are getting there. It's not that ruthless.
Yeah, I'm getting there, but like getting there slowly,
Yeah.
Rocky got tangled up in all the wires.
Oh. Oh.
I think he. I won't be a moment. I think he wants
Okay.
to go.
Okay.
Come on then.
So what's new, Simon?
Nothing really. Just I've had 2 weeks off at work. I'm all relaxed. Doing this is a lot easier when you're not working.
Yes.
When I'm working, I'm shattered. Then I think, oh Christ, I've got to make a video. I've got to do a live stream, and it takes a lot out of you, doesn't it? When you're working full time. So, but yeah, the last couple of weeks it's been great, really. Been sort of fixing up my mountain bike outside in the garden.
Yep.
Buying bits and pieces for it, and quite eager to get out on my bike. Now
you have a working garage, right, with a workbench, and that when you did helmet, that was your work.
Yeah.
So you can do repairs. You have a good set of tools, and you do work.
Yeah, I've got loads of tools. So I used to fit bathrooms and kitchens, and I was.
No kidding. You were a contractor. You did contracting work.
Well, not a contractor, just sort of self-employed for a short amount of time, and before that I was sort of like into maintenance and stuff. Working for a nursing home. Repairing wheelchairs and hospital beds and you name it, DIY. I was doing it.
Right.
So I had my own van.
You're good with your hands.
Yeah, always have been.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but end up being a postman.
Yeah,
which is not really same satisfaction, is it? But,
no.
But it's paid the bills. So
yes, I was good with my hands was sport. Hence why I think I've got arthritis in my hands now.
Oh,
playing rugby and cricket.
Yeah.
Oh well, fellas, we're over the three-hour mark.
Oh, we're going into RG territory here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so,
Let's not bore the people too much longer, shall we?
No, let's call it a day now, shall we? And we'll do it again next week.
I won't be here next week.
Well, over on yours, I meant.
Yeah, but I won't be around next Friday because Nick and myself are going to go and see the Soap Girls.
All right, cool. Oh, right then. Well, till next Thursday.
Yeah, see you all Thursday.
See you all Thursday.
I know you see me tomorrow and Nick tomorrow because it's Sodcast tomorrow.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.